Shalom, everyone, and peace of the Lord to all of you. Please invite your friends. And today, before we start, I would like to inform you that I decided to make a new schedule for our program. First of all, you hear me very well in Rumble and YouTube? Am I heard very well? Let us see if people they can hear me. In Discord, people they can hear, but in YouTube it takes a little bit of time for them to see the sound, to hear the sound. All right. So, starting from now, we will go every day, and this is for every day. All right. It's going to be 7:30 New York time every day, 7:30 New York time, except Saturday. Saturday is going to be 3 p.m. 3 p.m. New York time, between 2 and 3 p.m., like maybe 2:30 or 3. All right. So every day in the week, we will be live at uh, uh, 8 p.m. Sorry, and sorry, I'm really confused. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be 7:30 p.m. New York time. 7:30. I'm trying to measure it based on timing of people. Trying to figure out this country and that country. So yeah, we will be every day. This is the whole week long except Saturday. So the whole week long, every day is going to be at 7:30 p.m. New York time. 7:30 New York every day, except Saturday. Saturday will go between 2:30 or 3 p.m., which means sometime I might make it 2:30, sometime I I might make it 3 p.m. Is that a good thing? All right. So take a note. So from now on, we will be every day, every day. Nothing will change except Saturday. Saturday will be noontime. The reason, Saturday, people they will be busy, in the morning doing their things, etc. And even sometimes people they stay late at night, and Friday, that would give them time to wake up and eat and whatever they want to do. All right, and that is a time where people who they are from Europe they can join us. But this time now, like now, is good for people who live in the state Canada and maybe Australia and Philippines, Korea, Indonesia, etc. So this is a good time for people who live in Asia. This way we can. My voice is very low. Is my voice low, guys, or my voice is good? Yeah, this is starting from tomorrow. So starting from tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. New York time. Measure that your timing, see which in your country, except Saturday. Sunday, I'm not sure if I will be able to leave to go or not. Depend if I am going to a church or going to teach or do something in person. So we will see because some people they are asking me to teach in churches. So we will see if I can if I go on Sunday, but I cannot promise. But Saturday, uh, between 2:30, sorry, yeah, between 2:30 or 3 p.m. New York time, something like that, or even maybe before in Saturday. Make it 7:31 New York time. Why 31? What do you mean 31? What about 32? Yeah. Anyway, just take a note. Take a note, and I hope we will have a good time and we will be able to get more people join us. Do we have any Muslim who would like to join us? Do we have any Muslim who would like to ask me about Islam? Because my experience, and I cannot ask Muslims about Islam because Muslims they don't know anything about Islam. Muslims are expert in the Bible. Like you will see a Muslim, he will quote for you verses from the Bible, but he cannot even quote one verse from his book. Suddenly the Muslims are very expert, yet they do not know. They cannot even explain one verse in their book. How CP, how they can join? Well, you see, this is the issue. Yeah, YouTube don't send, let us say, alarm or notification to you when I post. And usually, like now, you see, we have a low number because I did not inform people I'm coming today, right? So, like, surprise, people do not know I will be here. That's why from now on, we will be every day in this time is going to be 7:30 New York time, 7:30 New York time, which means I will go earlier tomorrow, except Saturday is going to be between 2:30 and 3 p.m. New York time. All right. This way you can without even receiving notification, when I'm going to be online. Tell your friends. Same time, if you go to Patreon, Patreon is the same as Facebook for me. You do not need to donate. In fact, maybe 90 something percent of you, they never donate a penny in Patreon. You have just a membership for free. You see, if you go to Patreon, my videos are unlocked. I don't have locked videos. you know Not like others. You have to donate, and then there is a level of donation. So if you donate this, you can watch this. If you donate that, you can see that. I'm not doing business. So my Patreon is open for everybody, the poor, the rich, who have money, who don't have money. It doesn't matter. You sign there, Patreon will send you a notification, a guarantee. Especially if you have the app, if you download the app in your phone. All right. uh, at least Patreon will send you an email. So if you have notification for your email, you will have that right away. But it's better if you download the app, and then you will receive an app. The same as if you a message, as if you have like WhatsApp or Viber or those programs. All right. My volume is very low. I don't know why my volume is very low. From my side, it's very high. Guys, how many of you don't have a good sound? If there is any else have a bad audio, some people they are saying my voice is low, which doesn't make sense. All right, maybe you have a maybe your volume is low. Anyway, so take a note. Now, for sure, if I could not come one day, that's mean I am not able. But we will schedule it from now on. So, because what I noticed that people, because they are confused when he will be online. Sometime I am 3 p.m., sometime 4 p.m., sometime 10 p.m., sometime in the morning. So people are confused and they don't know how to catch me. And most of the time, actually, they are not even informed in advance that I will be online. Like now, I just created the live just 10 minutes ago. You know, so if not many people notice, I cannot blame them. And then I complain why there's not many, because simply people do not have time to know, right? Yeah, the volume little low. Let me see. I don't know. From my side, it looked fine, but I will check the setting. Okay, we go to microphone, audio. Input. Okay, what about now? I think now it's way better. Is it better now? Much better? All right. Okay, good. Yeah, it was just the gain is low, for some reason. All right. Do we have any Muslim would like to come to the microphone and ask us? We are in Discord, so if you'd like to join us in Discord, feel free. If you are a Muslim sheikh who don't have a Discord, you like to call me in Skype, I will take you too. Just let me know. You know, many of you are asked me about those who are supposed to debate me in Sunday. You see, we said yes, we accepted. Our sister Rashida, many of you saw her text in Patreon. She is an ex-Muslim. She left Islam, her and her family after watching my videos. And she said that her cousin is trying to convince her that I am not telling the truth, like the one who made you leave Islam, is not being honest. So they want to debate me, and supposedly they schedule a bunch of sheikhs from Saudi Arabia to get me busted. But I guess she made a mistake. She told them, she gave them my Discord or YouTube, so they investigate who is a Christian prince, and as soon as they notice who I am, they run away. All right. So I advise you in the future, any one of you, if you want to bring somebody to debate me, don't tell them the name of the person. Tell them he's a Christian. Click here and join. All right. When he say he is coming, right away I tell him, okay, this is the link, you can join us. The second you tell him too much in advance, he will think and he will hesitate. All right. That's very normal. And the Muslims, they will be lined up to debate people who don't speak English, because they think for sure, not only they think, they are right. The one who don't speak Arabic, the one who don't speak Arabic, they can play games with him that this is wrong translation. In fact, like Arabic is my first language. Still, Abdul want to convince me that this is not what the Arabic is saying. So, like, if you watch the previous video, you will see a bunch of Muslims calling me, telling me that the verse doesn't say what you are saying, even though I'm showing him word by word. And he didn't speak Arabic. The guy who is telling me it doesn't say that CP, he himself don't speak Arabic. So the Muslims always, they are sneaky, and they try to find any excuse in order to make you to take the credit from you, like you do not know what you are talking about. You have no knowledge. You don't speak the language. You are just making up a statement, and you are a fool. So the second they knew that you are an Arab, they run away. Do we have any Mohammedan would like to join us? Welcome, my friend from the Philippines. If you are from the Philippines and you bring me a Muslim sheikh from the Philippines to debate me, I will give you 10 kilograms of balut. All right? You want to get balut? Get me Abdul. Let him debate me. Muslims, they have answers for anything except the questions you ask them about their religion. They can tell you your Bible is corrupt, but they don't even have a copy. I mean, this is how stupid this cult is. The first thing they will say to you, your Bible is corrupt, but do you even have the original to know what's corrupt or is not? Do you have the original? Okay, let's say it's corrupt. So what is the original? How you know? In order to compare, like I wrote my books. So if somebody tried to make up a book like mine, we have the book, the original book. We can compare, and we will know that this is not the same. It's the same as a fake dollar and real dollar. In order to know which one is real and which one is fake, we have to have the real one, and then we compare them. Especially you are not the one who witnessed for them, like you were not in the presence when those books announced. So if I'm not a witness, which means I did not hear it, I did not read it, I did not write it, how I know about it? And then the Muslim, they have a guy, his name is Mohammed, which is cannot be a true name. He told them that Jesus was not crucified. In fact, there is not a single verse in the Quran saying the Bible is corrupt. Not a single verse. You see, when the Muslim, they say to you, the Quran confirmed that the Bible is corrupt, it's the opposite. the Quran state that some they corrupt, and then when you read, you will see that it's about some they cover by their finger a text in the book, not taking it from the book, you know. So the Muslims, when they speak about corruption, not only they are being not honest in what their Quran is saying, they are fabricating their own reasoning. I mean, it is really horrible that they don't go by their own book. So if we go here, all those verses speaking about corruption, but you will see it mention about the corruption of the Jews. But what the Jews did in chapter 4 verse number 46, you go and read the story. A guy, he put his finger over a word in the Torah. That's it. It is in the Torah. In the same occasion, Muhammad, he took an oath swearing by the Torah. So how that be a corruption? This is not a corruption. Corruption, and same time, look at the verse, how silly it is. It says, from those who they are Jews. One guy, you say, from the Jews, is just one guy, according to the story. If Muslims believe in Muhammad's stories, then this is what the story says. And then Muhammad, he took an oath on the same occasion, on the same book, which is the Muhammad saying they are doing corruption. How? By putting their finger on a verse. And this was a verse about stoning to death. And here you imagine how stupid this statement is, because if the guy, he put his finger over a verse in the Bible, in the Torah, about the stoning to death, and that is a corruption, but we cannot find the stoning to death in the Quran. You know what I mean? A Jew, he put his finger over the verse, according to Muslim, is a corruption. The verse of stoning to death cannot be found in the Quran. That is not a corruption. We have the verses about stoning to death until now. So which book is corrupted? People are busy talking about Syria. My friend, don't worry about Syria. Syria, you know, like, I mean, history repeat itself. Sometime the beasts come for good reason. Don't worry, you know. The beast, my friend, the beast, the Islamic beast, the first thing it does, it kills itself. This is what history taught us. So just have patience, you know, about Syria. Like in the worst scenario, this Assad, the filthy Assad, is gone. He's a criminal. He's a hypocrite. He's a coward. I mean, he sold his own people and he ran. Imagine, because now the most people will be really suffering is his people, the Alawi. The Alawi, they will live like dogs now. Those Muslim Sunni, they hate them to death. Even though, like in TV, they are saying we will not mistreat them, etc. But we know that this garbage doesn't work. But don't worry, you know, things will be. There is sometime, you know, like doctors or pharmacists who make medicine, they use snake poison. All right. So not always a snake poison will kill you. It can even make you stronger. So the snake is a snake, is going to be, you know, smashed and demolished. Do you think the Antichrist will be a Muslim? No, you know. First of all, there is two kinds of Antichrist. There is the Antichrist and there is Antichrist. All right? The Antichrist is anyone who denied the Son and the Father, which means it can be you, it can be me, it can be the Jews who deny Jesus, anyone. But this is not the Antichrist. This is an Antichrist. The Antichrist, which is a person, all right, will be someone. I mean, it cannot be Muhammad as a person. Muhammad as a person is gone, is dead. You know, the Antichrist is to come. It's not someone. And a normal Muslim. I mean, what a normal Muslim can do more than Muhammad? Nothing. Let us see if we have any Muhammadan. And let us share the screen here. Hello?
CP?
Yes, I hear you.
That's good. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you remember me, but I've been asking you some things a couple of times, and I've got a couple of things to ask you, so I don't want to take up too much of your time.
All right.
So to begin with, so earlier I asked you about the origins of this modern Quran, as Muslims call it, because a lot of Muslims say that several hundreds of copies of the Quran were burned down before one final one was chosen. But some things I don't see adding up are like, who chose it? And second of all, didn't he choose it after Muhammad died? So how did he even know him, and how do Muslims accept this ideology?
You know, this is story, first of all. You know, like that each story you show it to Muslims, they either say, some of them they say it's authentic, some they say it's not authentic, correct?
Yeah.
Any story. So any story the Muslim they have, they claim that they have a knowledge of ability to know if it's authentic or not, which is impossible, because as long as you don't have original book for the original statement, and this those statement, those stories, all of them collected at least between 200 to 250 years, if not 300 years after Muhammad. So how anyone can know what happened? Like the stories about burning the Quran. How we know even the Quran was exist? Well, there's no proof.
Yeah.
You know, there's no manuscript. Yeah. Like when the Muslims, somebody, a Christian guy from Egypt, he donated a piece of leather to England. You know, I forgot which university. The Muslim, they went make a big noise about a piece of leather and date it to be before Muhammad, which is horrible news for them, because if the Quran, if the date of Muhammad's existence is true, and then the date of the paper is, or the leather, goes to before Muhammad, that means the Quran is even, or whatever written in the Quran is something came before Muhammad, not even Muhammad. So just one page, and even that page does not match fully what the Muslims they have today. So what is the proof that there is a Quran and was burned? And what the proof that this is the Quran in front of us is a true Quran? And Muhammad himself, if you remember, I'm sure you heard this story, that Muhammad, he says he received 7 Quran. Correct?
7 different Qurans. No, this is the first time I've heard this, but I'm not surprised.
All right.
So what's the story behind these 7 different Qurans?
Well, because he's a liar, you know, when you are a liar, you can't repeat the same story twice correctly, you know. So Muhammad, he repeat Quran, and then when he repeat Quran, they don't match. You know, it's not the same. Supposedly he's reading the same verses, you know, or chapter.
Yeah.
But they are not the same. So
he's not able to. Sorry. I guess what you're saying is he's not able to recite his own holy book properly.
Exactly. Yeah. So he recited yesterday the verse. Tomorrow or a week after he recited again, but there is more new words. You know, it's not the same, and the order is not the same. So 2 Muslims, they were one of them was reciting the Quran, and the other Muslim was listening. The other Muslim got angry from him. He grabbed him from his neck. He brought him to Muhammad. He said, this guy is lying. He is giving us a Quran different from what you gave us. So Muhammad told the guy, the first one, okay, read the Quran for us, you know. He did read. he said to the second one, okay, read the Quran, which you heard from me. He did read. He said to them, both of you are right. What? They said, I did not tell you that Allah, He sent me the Quran in seven. He sent me 7 Quran, 7 ways. No? So you notice here that the 2 Muslims do not know. You see? Otherwise,
Yeah.
the other Muslim would not be upset about this guy fabricating Quran, which means no Muslim before heard Muhammad saying that Allah gave him 7 Quran. So why Muhammad hide it if it's true that he received 7 Quran until, you know, the 2 of his men start fighting? And if you read the story here, this is all is authentic, as you see. This is not, it's not something they can say it's weak, you know. So Allah gave him one Quran. Muhammad, he says to Jibreel, you know, go to Allah, seek forgiveness from Allah. My people cannot do it, they cannot handle it. Okay, what does that mean? One Quran is not enough for them. They are not going to able to practice Islam by one Quran. So Jibreel, he go back to Allah and he tell him what Muhammad asking for. He's asking for more Quran. So Allah, he sent the second Quran. Jibreel, he come back. He gave him the second Quran. Muhammad, he said to him, I seek burden and forgiveness from Allah. My people, they cannot handle it. They cannot do it. So the angel come back. He go to Allah. He asked Allah what Muhammad said. Allah gave him the third Quran. Okay. He go back to Muhammad. Muhammad, he said the same. I seek forgiveness from Allah. My people cannot handle it. Hey, what? And then he sent him the fourth Quran. So the story, this drama keep going until it becomes 7 Quran.
Yeah.
And now if you ask the Muslims, okay, how many Quran you have? Where is the 7th Quran? How one a tribe who speak one language, they need 7 Quran in order to handle the Quran. Then what about people from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Zakir, Naik, you know? If the Arab who speak Arabic, fluent Arabic, those are not people who learn the language like me. I'm speaking English now, but no matter how much I try, I'm not going to be the same as someone is born, live all his life in his country, study his school, his university, right? So I would make mistakes in the grammar and maybe understanding the culture too. So if the Arab who speak the Arabic fluently, they need 7 Quran. And why God want to give 7 Quran? You see, this is other point here. Prove Muhammad to be a fraud. Because imagine my first book is called The Deception of Allah. So imagine I need to rewrite my book 7 times.
By the way, sorry, I was just gonna say I'm reading it right now. It's a really, really good book, and I'm kind of surprised I didn't start reading it sooner. But it is an amazing book.
Yeah, but this is not the point now. You see, imagine I need to write my book 7 times, rewrite it, so you can understand my book. You know?
Yes.
That means I'm a horrible writer.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, imagine you need to buy the book 7 times, each time different version of it, because I could not understand. So now after having 7 books, still they don't understand. As Muhammad said, still Muslims don't understand the Quran. So 7, and here they say to you 7 way of recitation false. This is different words, different sentence, even they oppose each other, each other. So a clear proof that Muhammad is a fraud. Imagine that John, he need to write the book of John 7 times, and Luke, he need to write it 7 times, and Mark, etc. So why? Because simply they are inspired by God, but yet nobody can understand what they are saying. And remember, here we are talking about God, not a person. This is God making a book. And the funny here that Muhammad is correcting Allah. Muhammad, he says, he keeps saying to Allah, I ask my Lord for a protection and forgiveness, my ummah, between my people cannot bear that. Okay, what does that mean? And why Allah do not know? Is he ignorant? So Muhammad is correcting Allah you know, asking for more books. Allah, he agreed that the followers of Muhammad are a bunch of idiots. This is what it's mean, like, in order to,
He
explain to you
agreed.
the same thing 7 times, especially the Quran is just as stupid. Like, the flying carpet. Okay, why I need to write it 7 times? You know, Suleiman, he controlled the flying carpet. The flying carpet fly, and then the ants speak to Suleiman, and Suleiman speak to the ant. Do I need to write it 7 times? Is that like, are we talking about mathematics and like, something? The Big Bang Theory. It's just a stupid book. Have nothing. It's just fairy tales.
It is a stupid book. You talked about maths as well. You know that phrase, you know that verse in the Quran where it mentions 8 pairs,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
this is
proceeds to mention 4 pairs.
this is showing you that the Quran is written by someone who don't speak good Arabic too,
Mm.
because there is no way someone who speak Arabic, good Arabic, he will make such a mistake, and then he will say,
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt. If you show this phrase to an Arabic person, not like an Abdul, and ask him to explain, the first 2 letters there, thamaniyat azwaju, that literally translates to 8 pairs, and there's no way somebody can say no. That's 4 pairs actually. So
no, it says ثمانية أزواج. Azwaj is pairs, ثمانية is 8. So that's what it says. And then what make it more horrible that he count them. You see, if he just said
yeah,
8 pairs and he did not count what are they, then the mistake will not really show up. But he count them like 2 sheep, male and female, according to Muslims, 2 goats, male and female, okay, which means from everything, male and female. So 2 sheep, 2 goats, and then 2 camels and 2 cows. Like, where is the 8 pairs?
yeah.
Those are 8 animals.
Allah can't do mathematics, but He
8
created the whole
pairs.
universe.
Yeah, 8 pairs is 16.
Yeah.
So Allah need to rewrite this 7 times. Obviously, because stupid. Even if you write it 1,000 times, you can't explain it. No matter how many times you rewrite this verse, you cannot explain the stupidity. 8 pairs is 16. It's not 8 animals. So either you says 8 animals, or you say 8 pairs and then they are 16. So it's a stupid statement. Yeah. Same time, this is what Allah He created for mankind. That's it. What about the rest then? That's it? A goat and a cow and a camel? What is the rest of the animals who create?
What is the context of the surah, by the way? Sorry, before he gets to creating 8 pairs, is it just talking about the creation of things to eat?
Yeah, this is the chapter of An'am. An'am mean animals. Yeah, the chapter name is An'am, which means the animals. So, okay, there's millions of animals, exist. So this is the only thing Allah He created. Are you sure? Well, what about the chicken? We eat chicken more than any of those, Like maybe the chicken was not in the menu of Allah at that time. So, but I'm not going to go after like very much details, because we can say, okay, just giving you a summary. But the obvious mistake, he says 8 pairs.
Yeah.
But what you can say, like as the Chinese they say, he left as a donkey, never come back as a horse. Muslim they say Muhammad do not know how to write, how to read. But doesn't matter if he knows how to write, how to read. 8 pairs is 16. Especially Muhammad, according to Muslims, he used to work in trade for his old wife. The woman he married, she is old because she is rich.
Yeah.
So he was working for her in trade. So imagine somebody says to Muhammad, I want to buy 8 pairs of goats, and then Muhammad he gave him 8 goats.
Goats.
I mean,
Yeah.
you cannot do trade. You cannot do such a business if you do not know a simple math about what 8 pairs is. And then they say to you,
Exactly.
this is an amazing book, you know, for sure. You know, I mean, who have a book like this? Nobody. Yeah. Like as an example, other stupid mistake. The number of the feet. How some creatures, you know, how they function, how they work. You know, like in the Quran, if you look for the word for, you will find the word for everywhere. But here, chapter 24, verse number 45, it says something very funny. Allah has created every. The translation here, it says living thing. But in Arabic, it doesn't say living thing. It says dabba. Dabba is a creature which have feet and he hit the ground with it. All right? So, but we will let it go. Let us say he meant every living thing. But look what happened then. From water, which is false. You know? Because according to Islam, the earth is a living thing. The sky is a living thing. The rocks, they used to say Assalamu alaikum to Muhammad. Correct? Allah, He offered the sun and the moon and the heaven and the mountains. He offered them Islam and they refused. And the man He accepted because he was a fool. So when I offer the moon or the star or the sun or a mountain Islam, and the mountain answer me, well, that means the mountain is a living thing. Right? When the stone, they say to Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum, O Prophet of Allah, that means the stones are living things. Isn't it the Muslim belief that the black stone is going to have a tongue and eyes and is going to witness for Muslims in the day of judgment? That means.
Apparently so, and I think rocks are also gonna speak for Muslims and say there's Jews hiding.
Yeah, it's
behind
going to
them,
speak. That's why
something
it's have a
along the line.
tongue. That's why it's have a tongue. So it's going to speak.
Yeah.
They will have a tongue to speak and witness to our Muslims. And additional to that, you know, isn't it the Quran is going to come as a man in the day of judgment? The Quran is a living thing. Is it made of water? According to Muhammad, the Quran is a living thing. It's a living being, actually. Not only, you know, not only just it's a living thing, it's a living being. As a man will come as a man in the day of judgment. So the Quran again make a big poo-poo, because this is not everything created by Allah. According to Islam, according to the Quran, is made of water. As an example, even Shaitan, he was made of fire, and this fire have no smoke, which means there's no water involved in it. Because, you know, there's a pure flame and there's a flame with the smoke.
Yeah.
The smoke can come from water. As an example, if I burn wood, the wood have water, you know, but I'm burning the wood. However, the fire itself is not the water. The flame can contain, you know, but the fire itself is not the water. The water can be burned in the fire, especially if the fire is so strong. But here, look what happened here. He says that those animals or creatures, some of them, they walk in their bellies. In the translation, it says creep. You see my screen?
I'm watching it right now. Some that creep on their bellies.
Yeah, but this is not what the Arabic is saying. The Arabic says yamshi. Yamshi mean walk, not creep.
So they're walking on their bellies.
Yeah, and this is a very stupid mistake in Arabic, because actually even in English, walk is not the same as a creep. Creep is for animals who don't have legs, like snakes. Animals who have legs, we say they are walking. Correct? And that's why here the Muslim, they try to fix it, saying creep but in fact it says walking. This is translation of Hilali Khan.
Sorry, what word is it specifically that translates to walking?
Here it says
they changed it
in the
from
Quran it says that Allah created some animals who they walk in their belly, which means speaking about the snake, which is false. You know, snakes don't walk in their belly. You know, they creep in their belly. So in the translation they fix it. They say some that creep in their belly, and then some they walk. You see, there's different. You see, some they walk, but look how stupid they are. Even if you don't know Arabic, you can notice that this word is the same as the word after it. You see how many times it's repeated?
Yeah, the walking.
But look what they translate the second time the word mentioned, the third time the word mentioned, they translate it as walk. See how they lie?
Does yamshi directly mean walk?
Yamshi mean, yeah, he walk. It's like walking. He's walking now, you know, like a present tense, you know. Yeah. So the first yamshi in the top, they did not translate it as walk, they translate it as a creep, because it's a mistake in the Arabic for snakes don't do yamshi, they creep.
So if you were one of Muhammad's scribers back in the day, and you know, if you risked your head to correct him on this, to change the word from walk to creep, what would it say instead of فَمِنْهُمْ
Well, Aisha,
what would it say instead of yamshi?
Yeah, Aisha, this is after Muhammad's death, she said that in the Quran فيه لحن mean it's a croak, it's bad, the language is bad, and she asked Omar to correct it. He said, well, the Arab, they speak with Arabic, they will fix it by their tongue, you know, by their tongue they will fix it. But I mean, isn't it the word of Allah? I mean, how Allah he makes such a mistake, and then Omar he says the Arab they will fix it. And when the Muslim today they say to you that the Quran is amazing, you know, we say to them the Quran is full of mistakes, they say you are lying, but this is their books. This is here the chapter of An-Nisa, chapter of the women, verse number 162, and what is after interpretation. And this is the interpretation of Al-Baghawi, a big scholar in the history of Islam. And here you will see that Aisha, she said in the Quran there is mistakes, and even she mentioned some of them about how they are wrong.
It was narrated on the authority of Aisha, may God be pleased with her, and Aban bin Uthman. It was a mistake in the book that should have been written.
The translation is not accurate, should be corrected, you know. Yeah. So, and then she mentioned to him as an example a couple of verses about how they are wrong. And then when you write this to Muslims, they say this guy is a liar, he don't speak even good Arabic, he don't understand the grammar. This is Aisha. And Uthman he agreed. Uthman he said that in the Quran there's a croak. Here the word translation will say melody, but in Arabic it's mean a croak, a mistake, errors. The Arab will fix it by their tongue. They said to him, shouldn't you change it? He said, no, leave it. What is forbidden from wrong should not be wrong from being forbidden, which is very stupid. Or what is forbidden from wrong should not be forbidden from being right. What does that mean? I mean, the Quran is wrong. You know, aren't you going to fix it, Uthman? You know? And then he said,
no,
okay,
well,
the Arab will fix the language of Allah. You see, when the translation here says in the Quran there's a melody in the Arabic mean here is a wrong, mistakes, a croak, you know. It's like, you know, when somebody is Chinese or even Arab, like, you know, we go, I go, like, they want to buy shampoo, I say shampoo, you know, shampoo. Because in Arabic, we don't have P, we have B. Like, you notice that Arab, when they say Pakistan, they say Pakistan, they don't say Pakistan.
Yeah.
You know?
They don't have a P.
We don't have P. Yeah, the letter P, the light, you know, we have B as Ba, you know? So,
Betsy.
yeah, or let's say, we want to say, like sometimes we pronounce word wrong. Like, as an example, we want to say thank you, we say thank you, you know? Which is different meaning, totally, you know? So, here they are saying to him, well, the Quran is wrong. Shouldn't you fix it? He said, leave it. The Arab will fix it with their tongue. Let's see
which
if there
is
is any
really
Muslim.
ironic within Islam itself, because, sorry, I was just going to say it's really ironic in itself because, well, he's just letting some random people take over their religion, and therefore the authenticity from Allah is like immediately gone, even though it was already, you know, since it began. But yeah, Muslims never knew their own religion.
You see here the dangerous about this statement, that Uthman is leaving the correction of the Quran to anybody, which means because people, they have different tongue, different way of talking. So now everybody will write as he wish. He will say it as he wish, you know?
Yeah.
And as long you know it's wrong, yeah, the important for us, if those Arab, and they are the most close to Muhammad, Aisha the wife, Uthman the first caliphate, and he is the one who put the Quran together, supposedly, and they admit that the Quran full of errors, and we aren't talking about they are admitting scientific errors, we are talking about language error, you know, language. So even language, Allah could not put the Quran together if Allah is exist. Dinho, are you a Muslim, my friend?
No.
All right, how can I help you?
I wanna advice from you to debate with a Muslim.
All right.
Last I was debate with a Muslim, and I got verse from fight those who not believe in Allah. And the Muslims, they defend this verse. They said they when they attack the Muslims, we are allowed to attack them. So they defend the verse.
No, this is not true. You see, in chapter 9, verse 29, it says why they are fighting them. It says, for they refuse Islam.
Is that the fight of Badr, or?
To fight the Christian and the Jews, specifically, because they don't accept Islam. Not because they are fighting. The Christian did not fight Muhammad. There's no Christian tribe in Arabian Peninsula they fought Muhammad. They did not, you know.
But didn't the Rome Empire not
even the Roman, they did not fight Muhammad. Muhammad, he sent a letter threatening them, convert or die, or pages, you know, Aslam Taslam. Yeah. So even the Roman, Muhammad, he says, attack the Romans so you can get the blondie girls, not to spread Islam. And it's all in their books. But if you read the chapter 9, verse 29, it says why they should attack the Christian and the Jews. Not because they are attacking them, but because they don't believe in Islam and they don't believe in Muhammad. And the verse in the front of you know? Yeah.
The Muslims always defend this verse, you know. You know how
they can defend as much, my friend. What do you expect them not to defend? I mean, are you expecting somebody is possessed to say he is possessed?
No.
Yeah, so you know, this is normal to defend, but the same verse explain why, and you can tell them, okay, let's open Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir says why we should even mistreat them, because they refuse Islam.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
And other question was, is the Quran changed or not?
You know, for me, I don't debate about the Quran being changed or not, because there's no point of approving poo-poo is poo-poo. You know? Yeah, like, you know, when you debate me that poo-poo is poo-poo, well, I agree is poo-poo. So if leave the Quran as it is a great poo-poo for me. I do not need to say, because if a Muslim, he agree with me that the Quran is changed, then he can get away with the mistakes in the Quran, you know. And many of them
Yes.
now, they are doing this trick, like the Shia. They say, oh, the Quran is corrupt. Anytime that you show the Shia how stupid the Quran is, they will say, oh, you know that the Quran is corrupt. You can watch my previous day program. You will see a Shia, he
Yes.
called me. He agreed the Quran is corrupt. And then this is will make him supposedly wash his hand from the stupid Quran today. So it's not for my benefit,
Mm.
actually, to prove to a Muslim that the Quran changed, even though I can
No,
prove
no.
it easy.
But I saw
CP, I got.
sorry, yeah, I saw a debate from UCP many years ago that you said about Alexander the Great that he was a Muslim, but I'm not sure about it.
No,
It was a long time ago.
I did not say he was
Ah,
a Muslim. This is what the Muslim says.
okay.
No, no. What Alexander the Great? What Alexander the Great? What do you have to do with Islam? I mean, this is those people are weird, mental. You see, if we study history, like I don't mention those
Yes,
things because sometimes, let us say, too much information will make people, get intimidated. But there's a
yes, yes,
three people in history. They wear horn. Oh, sorry, like yeah, horns in their head. There's
yes,
Korsh, there's Gilgamesh, and there's Alexander the Great.
yes, yes.
And the three of
Okay.
them, if you go to Gilgamesh's story, or you go to
Mm-hmm.
Korsh, or you go, there's each one of them have a story about the sun goes in the lake of murky boiling water, and then it comes from the other side of the earth. So
Yes,
all those three stories mention such a details. So here the Muslims themselves are confused. Who is Zulqarnain, which means the person with the two horn? Some
yes.
of the Muslims say he is Alexander the Great, and then some they say he is Korsh, and then some they say, well,
Yeah, yeah.
he is yeah. So, but it doesn't matter who. It's just a stupid story anyway.
Yes. But last question,
All right.
is a little bit conspiracy, but they said that the Islam is created by Vatican, but I'm not sure about that.
Well, whoever said that to
Honestly.
you, he is giving him a certification from me that he is a donkey.
From the Vatican. Yes.
Whoever said that to you is a donkey. I mean, it doesn't matter if you claim to be Christian, not a Christian, I don't care. He is a certified donkey and he's an idiot. Not only is a liar, I don't think he is even a liar only. He's just a fool because, who is the one who fought Islam? It is the Catholic, my friend. Who is the crusade? It's the Catholic. And then they say
Yes,
to you,
yes.
I saw an idiot, a donkey, from those they call themselves, I forgot, Seven Adventist. He was making a
Mhm.
speech, and a lot of people watching. He said even that Khadija, she was a Catholic nun. Khadija, she have three
Yes,
husbands.
yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I
She is
heard
a
it also.
Catholic. First of all, in the Middle East, my friend, in the Middle East, the most, let us say, school was uh, uh, known is the Orthodox. Catholic is spread long after, between the local.
Mm.
So there's no
Okay.
Catholic really. Until now, actually, the majority are Orthodox. Until now in the Middle East, the majority of the Christians
Yes,
are
yes.
Orthodox. But anyway, if you are a stupid idiot, a liar, and you want to, shame someone you hate, so you fabricate stories about them. This is why I have no respect for anyone say lies about Protestant or lies about Catholic or lies about any church school of thought, because
Yeah,
the father of all lies is Satan, right?
yeah.
So it doesn't matter who is making the lie. He is a Catholic or he is a Protestant or he is an Orthodox. He is not a Christian and he is satanic. For anyone who spread lies about someone is not true, is nothing but satanic.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you, CP.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Here our duty
CP,
is to fight lies, right? And I will never say a lie to make Islam look bad, because that already make me bad myself. So if I want to create lies about Islam to make you believe Islam is bad, I mean, that's obviously that I am no better than Islam and both of us satanic. Okay.
CP, I've got a question before I go.
All right.
You've been doing this for a long time, where you basically just have this method of like trapping Abduls into corners with by asking them questions and they answer it, and you refer it to the Quran, and you get them to basically agree with the Quran, and then point out to them how stupid and ridiculous it is, and you get them all sort of baffled and messed up. Now the thing is, I've seen you do that. I'm not sure how you do it. I'd like to learn a little bit about how you do it, because I'm going to go see this scholar on Saturday, and I want to just ask him like all these questions, and I don't want the average answer of like, oh, it's just a test. Allah's testing you for the afterlife, and I'm not accepting any of that. It's just I don't believe in any of this, but somebody wants me to go see someone, and I will. And I just want to figure out how you are able to just push all these Abduls into a corner so easily without them pulling
if you want,
lies.
you can like, let's say they say to you, talk to this person. You can tell him, can I talk to you by phone or Skype, and then hook him up with me here. But don't tell him Christian Prince will be, join us. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know that. I know
make
that.
it like a surprise. So this is number one. Number two, if you expect a thief to say to you that he did it, and he make your job easy if you are a detective, I mean, you are making a big mistake. Or somebody, he commit a crime, and he knew he can get away with it by denying it, and then he will say, I did it. I mean, he is not a fool. So there's two kinds of foolish people. A fool who he think he is so smart, and a fool who knows that he is fool. Now, the one who knows he is fool, I believe he is smarter than the one who is a fool, he think he is so smart. Either one, you cannot tell them what you are planning for them, because their answer will change depend on the question. So if I want to ask you a question about the benefit of milk, I will not ask you about milk. I will ask you about the camel. What is the benefit of the camel? Then you will start telling me the camel, we can have milk from it, we can eat its meat, we can use it for transportation. So I say, okay, so you agree that all those things are good and there's no good of them, If I say to him that United Nations, they already, or let us say the most so-claimed authentic doctors, they assure that the camel milk is not healthy, If right away I provide him that, he might say, well, we Muslims don't agree with drinking milk. Who told you that? So he might deny it. So always you have to trick the Muslim in order to get the answer before the question comes. Because after you give him the question, the answer will change,
Yeah.
Like if you have a bunch of kids who says, the one who stole the chocolate, I will give him a gift. Now, if one of them is a smart, he will know that you just say the stole. That means you accuse him of a theft. He will not say it's me, even though you are seducing him with the gift. But another kid who is a fool, he will say, me, I am the one who stole the chocolate with the gift. So this is how you have to treat the Muslims, are the same as they are kids, even though they are growing. They try to deceive you, they try to play you, they will do everything in their ability to go around the question. So number one, never give them the question. Try to get the answer before the question comes. I will give an example. If we ask, do we have any Muslim here? Just to give you a life example.
We can pretend I'm an Abdul if you'd like.
No, we don't do those things, No.
All right.
We don't pretend. If we ask a Muslim, who is the one, who is God, they will say the creator. You ask him, are you sure there's no other creators? He will say yes. What if some religion believe there's many creators? He will say they are pagan. That's not true. Then you show him that in the Quran it says there's many creators. If you show him first that there's many creators in the Quran, he will start giving all kinds of excuses.
Yeah.
And even after you do that, he will play games with it. All right, Abadi, thank you for joining us. Let us give a chance for other people to join, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. And I'll use what you said against the in the conversation. But yeah, Thank you. Have a good night.
You're welcome. Do we have any Muhammadan? Who is a Muhammadan would like to join us and convince us about the beauty of Islam? Anyone? It's like, you know, if you are working as a detective, you have to surprise the one you are trying to make him confess what he did with something. Suddenly will break him down. If you tell him in advance, if you open all your papers for him, he will find an answer. He will find, you know, he will try to get away with it. Can we talk about Allah having a grandpa? If we can talk about anything, you know, but the Muslims in that field, they will say to you, well, Allah, he don't mean that. Allah don't mean that. They will say to you, you don't speak the language. Yeah, Allah have a grandpa, and the Quran is the mother of the books. This is if you go to, it says وَإِنَّهُ تَعَالَى جَدُّ رَبُّنَا. You know, it's just a stupid statement, doesn't make any sense. You know, there's no meaning for it, not in Arabic, not in any language. But if you try to read it when the Muslim translate, you will see how the Muslims, they try to get away with it as usual. But again, if you don't speak the language, they will say to you, it doesn't say that, CP. All right. So look here, the exalted, be the majesty of our Lord. He has what majesty? You know, Jaddullah. They will say to you now, Jaddu is something else. All right. Any Muhammadan? Who is a Muhammadan would like to come to the mic? What is the verses in the Bible hit you deep? Well, there is many, but the most effective one on me is the one when Jesus says to the women, go and sin no more. So each time I feel weakness, you know, you are a person, all of us, you know, we get tempted, and you know, temptation can take you down. You see, every man and even women, same, you know, there's let us say the most powerful tools to tempt a person, a man, is either money or sex. Correct? Do I agree? Money or sex. So each time I feel like my brake is going loose, you know, because, you know, you have eyes, you see, you are a man, and you know, as a man, you will be tempted, no matter how much you try. So how and why we can fight this temptation, even though the temptation is so powerful, especially if you are single like me, you're not married. So what do? Go and sin no more. Put it in your head. Anytime you feel that you are going down, because this is going down, this is not going up, you are going down. Remember what Jesus said, go and sin no more. So you sin in your thought, you get tempted with your thought, you did not do anything yet, but you see, thought is the first step of doing, right? Thought is the first step. We think about something, and then we do it. If we don't think about a woman in a sexual way, I will never have sex with her. Correct? Because I did not see any sexuality in my relationship with her. I just see her as a sister, maybe, or just as a woman, no matter who she. But the thought first is what going to take you into the sin. If Adam did not think, and Adam and Eve did not think about disobeying God, they would not disobey God. We think about it, we discuss it within ourselves. And then the second we start leaning into doing it, we justify it, even if you are religious, even if you are a person who resists sin. But when you go, let us say, weak, you start justifying it yourself. Like I'm weak, I'm just human, I am, I have limited. You will give yourself all kind of excuse. Excuses will start coming like rain in your head. Who can help you and take you from drowning is the command of the Lord. And this is, I find it the most helpful one for me to be able to maintain and to stay who I am. Go and sin no more. But doesn't mean when I say to you, I'm not claiming to be I am a saint. I'm far from, maybe all of you are better than me. But I'm telling you how I fight against myself. Because this is a fight you do against yourself. And everything is in the brain. If you go to, if you have a daughter, she is 19 years old, 18 years old. She's very beautiful. She just came from the shower. You open her door to her room suddenly without knocking because you're an idiot. And she's naked. Are you going to think about her in a sexual way? No, you will not. Why you don't? She's a female. She's very pretty. She's way better than pretty than her mother. I mean, she's young. But you don't think about her. Why? Because your brain right away will block the idea. She's your daughter. So sin starts from the thought. It's not what you see. You might see a naked woman, but if you block the idea in your head, then the nakedness cannot affect you. You saw nothing, affect you nothing. If you see a mountain of gold, and you know that this money is not yours, if I block the idea that I will never steal, what I saw, amount of gold, will not affect me. I saw nothing. I have no desire for it. So desire coming from the thought is controlled by the brain, and the brain is where we start. Do we have any Muhammadan? Everything have a point to start with in life. By the way, we said, like, if somebody need an advice, he said, can you make a program? Well, you can call me now if you want to see us. We have no Muslim until we get a Muslim. Anyone need have a question, advice, something, just be sure don't give me too much information about your life. Keep your privacy for yourself. There's bad people, they are listening. There's, not everybody is a nice person, is a good person. Don't give your name, don't give anything. Just give me the question, plain question, and I will be happy to answer you. All right. What is my personal testimony? I have none. I don't claim to be saint. I don't claim to be bishop. I don't claim that I spoke to God or God appeared to me. I'm a person since I was a kid. I have at least one gun in my side, if not two. So I used to be fired from school almost every day. And the last year in my secondary school, they fired me from whole schools of the country. That is telling you, giving you a good idea how good is my testimony with God. So I'm not the one who can claim, in fact, I don't like this question because sometimes I notice that those who speak about their testimony, they are trying to present themselves as the good ones, So my testimony uh, I was, let us say, I revolt against everything. I don't accept uh, anyone strong intimidating one is weak. I used to fight just to defend someone. The fight had nothing to do with me. Nobody get close to me. I used to jump on things that have nothing to do with me because I hate injustice. I hate lies. I hate people who they are untruthful. And my hate is not against them as people. I hate their action, just to make it clear. And that make you get in trouble most of the time because simply, if you cannot keep your mouth shut, then you will get in trouble with people, right? All right. Yeah, I'm born in the Christian family, if that's what you mean. But remember, in the Bible we learn that we have to be born again, born again, not born of a Christian family. There's millions and millions of people, they wear a cross and they are born in a Christian family, but neither them or their family are really Christians. They are just a Christian by name. Do you have an advice to block a sexual thought? My friend, we just mentioned the advice. Didn't I mention, guys? Didn't I just mention the advice about how we can block such a thought? Go and sin no more, right? If you have to, print it, put it next to your bed, print it, put it in your car. I mean, put it in your head. Go and sin no more. Remember what Jesus said, my friend. If I make this my flag in life, I'll prevent myself from doing everything, not only sexual, anything. Gossiping, lying, stealing, cheating. All of this is a sin. Sin is wide, is like a big, massive, long highway of action. All what you need, you see, this is the amazing thing about the teaching of Christ. He was merciful with the women. The Jewish hypocrite, they were attacking her, but they did not even bring the man, which means maybe there is no proof. However, you cannot hide your sin from Jesus. You can hide it from the rabbis. You can hide it from the bishop. You can even lie to yourself and you say, I did not do it. But you cannot lie to God. So he was merciful to her. He gave her a chance. He said to her, I don't judge you too. Go and sin no more. So the condition of not to be judged is to go and sin no more. And if we make sin as our lifestyle, then you will be judged and you will be punished. As simple as that. Go ahead, Saul. Hello?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question. Sometimes I'm talking to the Muslims, and like I'm struggling to understand what is the holiness in Islam. I was looking, let's say I do know a little bit Arabic, and I was looking in Quran word holiness. They have El Quds, El Qudus, and two times it's a saying about something about God, but it looks like they stole it from the Bible. What do you know, like as a what do you know about the holiness in Islam? Because it's a very important question. Because when you say we are not saints, it means that you're like somehow you're far away from God, right? And when you want to come closer to God, you're supposed to do something, right? It's kind of makes you kind of saint or so. Uh, so what, like let's say in Islam, like If I want to in Christianity be saying to something, I supposed to read the Bible. I supposed to dedicate myself. In Islam, like how can you get like this kind of thing?
All right. Well, first of all, you see, we might share the same words as a language, but they don't have the same meaning. Uh, the Muslims, they have words, they started from Christians, like the Holy Spirit, as an example. But the Holy Spirit is not Allah. And they claim that this is the angel Gabriel. But then if we go in the Quran, we will find that this Holy Spirit, according to Muslims, commits sin. When the angels accuse Adam that he will do mischievement, Allah, he taught the angels, he taught Adam the names, and he told the angels, tell me the names of those things. The angels, they could not. He said to them, tell me the names if you are truthful. If you are truthful. Which mean they are not truthful. So you notice here, when the Muslim, they say the Ruh al-Qudus, and they claim it's an angel. So how we call him Holy Spirit? Yet this Holy Spirit is not truthful. All right. So Muslims, they have the same, they stole words from us, but obviously they don't have any value and any meaning, because their holy is a sinner. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So chapter 2, verse number 31, saying that all the angels of Allah are not truthful. And what is the opposite of truthful? Liars.
I think deceivers. Yeah, liars, deceivers.
Yeah. So if somebody is, if I am asking the angels, challenging them to read those names if they are truthful, obviously I am saying you are not. And then they said to him, we do not know the names. So he confirmed that they are not truthful. So when the Muslim, they say holy, it doesn't mean holiness. When the Muslim, they say virgin, as an example, Muslims, when they say virgin, like I married a virgin woman, he is not saying to you she never have sex. No, he is saying to you she never have a previous husband. His wife, she might be sleeping with 10,000 men before. But according to Islam, as long as she did not get married, she is called virgin. So there's two words. There's thayyib and bakr. The thayyib is the one is married. The virgin is the one not married. That's all. But doesn't mean really she's virgin. It just means that she did not have officially a spouse, but she have, God knows how many men they slept with her. All right.
Yeah, I got. But like this is the thing, like when I'm talking to them, and like we are talking about the salvation, I'm saying, like what's the purpose of believing in God, like, and then I bring the Genesis story, and like we finish like something, like forgiven, and like did God forgive Adam and Eve, and why didn't He brought them back to the garden? And I said, like, this is the thing, that He can forgive, but they are not saints. So this is the thing, the Bible says clearly, like, without the holiness you can't see God. And Jesus said, like, I am the way. So all the things, like, let's say if, for example, if I'm not a saint, let's say I'm a sinner, let's say I know, like, let's say homosexual. So what, according to them, okay, I will go to hell for a certain time, then I will get out from the hell and I'll go to heaven, right?
No.
But the thing is,
No,
I'm
no,
still not
no,
this.
no, no, that's not true. You see, those things you will find them in a school of thought, but this is not from the teaching of Muhammad. Muhammad, he never said what they are saying. This is fabrication of a school of thought. Every Islamic sect, he have his own idea about what will happen. But the Quran says, وَمَا مِنْكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا. Not a single one of you, but he shall enter hell. Not will be staying there for some time. So, and the Quran does not say how long you will stay. It says all of you will go to hell. And then they ask Muhammad, are you going to be saved by your deed, O Prophet of Allah? He says, none of us, either me, will be saved by his deed, but by the mercy of Allah. So all the idea of Islam collapsed because the Muslim, they say, the Quran itself says, if you pray, if you fast, if you do Hajj, if you do Jihad, you know, you will go to heaven. But then Muhammad, he destroyed all by making it so clear that none of you will go to heaven by his action, but by the mercy of Allah. And here you will see that maybe Muhammad is trying to copy the Christians. But by copying the Christians, because the Christian, they don't say we should not do good deeds. The Christian believe that none of us deserve to go to heaven based on our sin. But by the grace of God, we are going to be forgiven. However, the Bible says too, faith without deed is a dead faith. So a Christian who don't have good deed, he is no Christian. So they are connected. So when Muhammad is said, not a single one of you will be saved by his action, Muhammad, he confirmed that all the Quran is a fraud. Let us find the hadith. You see my screen?
Yeah, I see.
All right. Muhammad, he said, there's none whose deed alone can secure salvation for him. They said, Allah, Messenger, not even you? Thereupon he says, not even I, but that the mercy of Allah should take hold of me. So what is the salvation in Islam then? Based on what? And then you find Muhammad making other poo-poo saying that Islam is destiny. So this is false too, because simply the mercy of Allah is before he created you, not later. For you are going to go to heaven or to hell based on a decision Allah pre-made for you before even he created you. All right?
Yeah, it says it's like, he foreknew you, and so before like your creation, he knew you, let's say, and then he predestined. That's what Bible says. Like first of all, he knew
No,
you,
no,
like
no. No, the Bible doesn't say, no, no. The Bible doesn't say that we are destined to go to heaven and paradise by decision of God to do action. When God, he says he know you before before he created you, he's talking about the knowledge of God and people who they are chosen for a certain mission. But doesn't mean that those people are going to go to heaven just because they are chosen for the mission. They have to do the action of the mission. To make it simple for you, isn't it Jesus? He have 12 disciples, and one of them betray him. So here we go. He's chosen. He was chosen. Isn't it the Jews? All of them, they are chosen. All of them. Jesus says, I came to my people, and my people rejected me. Isn't it Adam, the first man, was a choice of God to create him? He was chosen. Even there's no other man, but he was chosen to be created. But Adam himself disobeyed God. So God knowing you, and he, destined for you. This is about certain people, they have a mission in their life, and God used them. However, God will not use you unless you voluntarily agree. All right? We as a Christian,
Yeah,
we don't believe in destiny.
yeah, this is the thing, I do believe, God gave us the free will, but
Yeah.
like we live because let's say he is omnipresent in like in time, in matter, like in location and everything. So let's say for what's for me is the future, for him is like already as a past. So when he created, he already knew everything. So he's like out of time. So I think like it means like something that he knew me before the creation, and that's why maybe he predestined, like because he knew like all what I'm going to do by my free will,
No,
and
no,
he
no, no,
predestined
no, no, no. This is the wrong idea. If you think about God predestined for you the way you are thinking now, you are thinking as a Muslim. That means you have no free will. So this is not
it's not
about knowing. No, no. You see, God knowing
it's
your future is not the predestined. In fact, the translation in the Bible is not even like the English translation is not giving you the clear meaning. It's about God. He decide for you a mission. However, you can take the mission, you can reject the mission. So God gave Adam a mission. The mission: go and live in this yard, in this garden. And he destined for him, the only place we find destined is a penalty or reward. As an example, Adam, if you commit sin, you will die. That destiny. This is the only destiny we have in the Bible. There's nothing else. So the wage of sin is death. I cannot change it. I cannot fix it. I cannot run away from it. The wage of sin is death. The wage of believing in Jesus and following Jesus is heaven. That is destiny too. However, still I am the one who is in control of my destiny. So the penalty is destiny, but not me. Do you understand? Like, I build a jail and I build a garden. The one who do bad, take him to jail. The one who do good, take him to the garden. But God is not the one who will make you do bad or good. It's you. This is why don't mistake things and don't mix them up between God knowing your future and you decide your future. It's your decision. Because if God is deciding for you what you will do, what does God is Satan then? If he decides that you will do sin and you will become a criminal or rapist, and then he will punish you for doing that, I mean, what is justice? He should be punished, not me, because he's the one who forced me to do it. Like even in the military, if I am a commander and I command my soldier to shoot somebody, the soldier have no choice, because according to the war law, if you don't shoot, I can shoot him. I'm his boss. So in the criminal law, if you study law, the one who gave the command is the one who will be punished for the command, not the one who received it. So if God command you to do sin and you have no choice to do it or not, then this God is Satan, and that is Islam. All right? In Christianity, we don't have such a thing. Like when Adam he commits sin in Christianity, was it the choice of Adam or God forced him?
It was free will. This is what I'm saying, that it's free will. Like, I mean, we are living by
Exactly. So here, the word destiny in Christianity have different meaning from the word destiny in Islam. The word destiny in Islam, as we know, and as the Muslims confirm in their Quran, their book, that their God, he decide for them any sin they do, including fornication. You have no choice to fornicate or not to fornicate, to steal or not to steal. And that means that this God is not just. This God is playing games with mankind, So in Christianity, this is evil.
This kind of idea sounds very stupid, but like what I'm saying, that there is like kind of predestination. Let's say I'm living in Israel, okay? Like God decided that I'm going to be there. Like maybe I didn't want to live in Israel. Maybe I wanted to live like in
No, it's not. It's
United
not
States.
God. It's not God decide for you to be in Israel. If your mom and dad they move to Sri Lanka, you will be in Thailand or Sri Lanka. What does that have to do with God?
Yeah, but let's say
No,
the thing is,
my friend,
like
don't go to details like this, because that will not be even right. Like, okay, I got poisoned, and now I'm dying. God, he forced me to eat. No, I bought the food. I did not check it out. I ate the food, I get poisoned. So if my dad and my mother did not have sex, I will not be here. Don't blame God, and don't say if not God. This is not what we are talking about. We are talking about destiny of doing good and bad, not about where you are born. What God have to do with this?
Yeah, yeah, I believe this is the thing, like I believe what you say, like I'm not like even trying to, let's say, discuss with you about this thing.
Yeah, but you are choosing wrong example. Like you are born in Israel. It's not your choice. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
but
true somehow, but still, this is not about God. It's not God who made you are born there. You know, no. Your parents are from Israel. You are born in Israel. If your parents find a contract for work, job somewhere, or you went vacation and your mom she gave delivery to you in the airplane. Let us say the airplane was 1 centimeter, 1 meter inside Germany and 1 meter inside France. Okay, now you are half a French, half German. But is that God? No. I mean, it happened that they are traveling, and this is the time gave birth to you. So we don't want to mix things up about what is God is about. God, He created Adam and Eve, and He gave them free will. And then He gave Adam and Eve the ability of reproduce. Since then, it is Adam and Eve reproduction. It's not God. Even though we say we are created by God, which is true, but it is Adam and Eve who've been given the ability by God to reproduce. However, God, He gave me and any woman ability to produce, but if I did not sleep with her, we will not. Correct? So we have to do our own choice of action, even for the ability we have or we've been given. So if God gave me ability to reproduce, still I cannot reproduce unless I agree with other women to do something called sexual intercourse, and that will cause what we call it reproduce. All right?
yeah, but let's go back to the topic about the holiness, because what I believe, let's say, like the holiness in Islam doesn't exist. I mean, what you just said, like, even like I was trying to speak with them, and I said, like, something about let's say about the heaven. I mean, even heaven is not holy, like because they don't have this concept, they even cannot imagine. And this, like, I'm trying to say to them, like, you're wrong because you're supposed to understand that God is holy. Okay, now when it's like, let's say we were talking about the salvation. Let's say if I'm let's say if there is a rapist, okay? So now this rapist, he is a Muslim, okay? Now he repented, let's say, not repent, yeah. Let's say he came to God, he died, and he said, like, Allah, forgive my sins. Then he forgave. And then what's happening, that he is not transformed. He goes to the heaven and rapes all the girls over there. I mean, he is still the same sinner. And this is the thing, what you've been talking before, like, about the sins and everything. I mean, it makes sense that we need to be born again, be born from the Holy Spirit.
You see, you're understanding Islam like you're trying to figure Islam in the wrong way. Like you just said, he will go to heaven, and now he will sleep with women. No, no, Islam don't believe that sleeping with women in heaven is rape. This is your idea. So if you want to debate somebody about his religion, don't come with an idea is not part of their belief. Their belief is that those women are going to be their wives. God will give them those women. So this is not rape. Number two, what the point? You said he repent. Repent for what? If it was destiny, why I will repent? What my repent will do? Allah should repent, not me. Because the one who forced me to do fornication is Allah. It was not my choice. Repent work only in Christianity. Because I have a free will, and because my free will took me to the wrong, I did bad. And then I feel bad. And then I ask for forgiveness for the bad I did. But if the bad I did is forced on me, how in the world and why I will be repenting? As an example, the story of Adam in Islam, Adam did not commit sin. Adam was forced to commit sin. In fact, Allah He wrote the scenario for him to do 40 years before he created Adam. And here we have a story, which is a very funny story about Adam and Moses having a debate, and obviously Muhammad is suffering from the flight of time. So Moses, he told the Adam, you are the one who got the people out of heaven because of your sin. And then because of that you made us miserable. Adam said to him, oh Moses, you are the one who Allah selected for his message, and he spoke to you directly. Yet you blame me for a thing which Allah had ordained for me before he created me. So here you notice that the idea Christians, they think about sin, when a Christian he try to think about sin, thinking that Muslim they think about sin the same way, he is doing a big mistake. Muslim sin is a predestiny. Christian sin is a choice of a free will. No Christian believe that God forced Adam, he ordained for him to do sin. According to Muhammad, Adam, he did not do anything wrong. Adam saying to Moses, yet you blame me for a thing which Allah had ordained for me before he created me. And then they continue, Muhammad, he agree that Adam, he won the debate. So based on Muhammad Islamic teaching, the story of Adam have nothing to do with the story of Adam in Christianity. Adam in Islam did not commit sin. It was ordained. It was a destiny. This is why when a Christian person, he tried to mix destiny with the Christianity in a foolish way, he will look a fool like the Muslims. Adam, he made a choice in heaven in the Bible. Adam, he have no choice in heaven in Islam. In fact, Allah decided what he will say, what he will do 40 years before he created him. You know? Not just a year or two, 40 years. And even Muhammad, he mentioned that, as we see in this hadith. Do you blame me for something Allah he had decreed? Are you blaming me, Moses, for something which Allah decreed for me 40 years before he created me? Adam won the debate according to Muhammad. So can we blame Adam for his sin? No, because he did not do any sin. All right?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I got your point because first of all, I thought that you didn't got my point, but now I see what
Yeah.
you mean.
So we have nothing to share. You see, when the Muslims say holy, their holy is different. Holy is dirty. When they say virgin, it's not a woman, she did not sleep around. It's a woman slept with 10,000 men, but she did not get married. When they say Islam is against theft, Islam is against you stealing from Muslims, not Muslims stealing from non-Muslims. So Muslim, they use the same word we use in language, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have the same equality and value. Remember that. So destiny for them mean this, that none of us chose what he will do. Your deed is written for you, bad or good. Your belief, even if you are a Muslim or a Christian, he decides for you what you will be. According to Muslims right now, Christian Prince, every word is saying Allah, he decides for him to say that. All right?
Yeah, I know that, but let's say, like, because my point is like not to, let's say, have a debate with them, like just to shoot at each other some arguments. I just want this guy to be saved. That's why I'm trying to bring up, like, like the Christian contrast into that, so they would understand that there is holiness. God said, without the holiness, no one can see God. And I mean, if he is not holy, I mean, like, just look in the life of Muhammad. If those people knew what his holiness is, I mean, they would never accept him.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. You see, so the word, they say the holy prophet, but the prophet is a piece of garbage. So when they say holiness, obviously holiness for them is just a word they throw, and the action does not prove it. So action and holiness, they don't match in Islam. Holy, you know, is about a person who is perfect. He never do wrong. He's above wrong, and he is an example of perfection. Muhammad, either Allah, even Allah. I mean, look, if this is all what Allah decides for Adam, well, Allah is evil. Look at what he did to Adam. Drama. He wrote for him a movie, a scenario. I will create a guy. I will call him Adam. His wife, etc. She will say to him to this. He will say to her that, and then they will do this, and then etc. He decides for them what they will do and what they will say, and then he will punish them for what they did. The same for the fornication. Muhammad, he make it clear that every one of us, every human being, he have his share of fornication, which is written to him by Allah. A Muslim woman, she called the sheikh and she asked him. She said, now I'm close to my 30 and I'm afraid I'm not going to get married, because Muslim women, if they are 30, nobody will marry them unless they are rich. So I'm afraid I will not get married. The sheikh, he said to her, my daughter, sister, don't worry. Prophet of Allah, he said, it is written in every woman's vagina, the name of the men will F her. So he's telling her that it's not up to you, you will be sleeping with men or not. It is destiny. So don't think about it. It's written there in your vagina. So imagine if a woman, she is a whore, and this is what she do for a living. She will have a yellow pages there. You know? Like, she would have maybe 10 million names. All right? Don't worry. I have the video. I can play the video, you know? He said to her, don't worry. It's on TV, Islamic TV. Don't worry, sister. It's written, the Prophet says, it's written in every vagina, the name of the men will F her. And I'm sure this woman, she went right away after the program. She looked for a magnifier to try to find out the names of the men will sleep with her. She tried Ahmed, Mohammed, Hassan. Ah, Christian Prince, his name is here. Okay, you know, okay. So, yeah. So it's written, not only written in her destiny, it's written in her vagina. I mean, Allah could not find a place to write the names of those who will open that hole except there. You know? And imagine this hole is in their TV. They don't even shy. You know what? Let me find you the video. Because people, they might say that it cannot be true. Yeah, here we go.
I think, you know,
This is the video. This is a sheikh from Azhar, which is the highest authority of Islam in the world, in Egypt. This is actually this is a university created by the Shia, but later the Muslim Sunni, they stole it. Yeah. So she was asking that the women, she said, she's worried about getting married.
يعني في حديث يقال أن كل فرج مكتوب عليه اسم ناكحه. طبعا. نعم. كل شيء. حتى لو العياذ بالله في الحرام، حتى لو في الحرام. لا.
Yeah, she said to him, even if it's unlawful, which means fornication. He said, absolutely. She said, imagine, guys, do you see the Muslim women? They wear hijab, and when you see this, you think those are like shy women. I mean, this woman, she just said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, it's written in every woman vagina. I don't want to use the word P-U-S-Y. This is what she said. The name of the men will F her, even if it is not lawful, which means fornication. The sheikh, he said, absolutely, absolutely.
وكل شيء مكتوب حد لا ما هو ده يؤجر وده يؤجر.
All right, my friend, thank you for joining us. Let us see Mr. Death. Go ahead, Death.
Hello, Christian Prince. How are you?
I'm fine. Can you speak louder, please?
Can you hear me now?
All right, let's try.
So, I hope you're doing well. I have some questions, and I have heard some of it, and I've tried to look it up on the internet, but I can't seem to find it, or it says something different. I've seen, why are a lot of videos I watch from, a lot of people like you, or not particularly you, but from other creators, when they give a scripture verse, and I believe Sam Shamoon or God Logic or you, but when I go up to look to the verse, it says something completely different. And I'm not saying that you're lying or that you're trying to deceive us, but it seems like they are changing the scripture on Quran.com or
All right.
websites.
I don't know. Like I cannot judge really, unless you prove it if they are lying or giving false meaning. So can you give me an example? Because neither Sam Shamoon or God Logic speak Arabic. So it's possible that they give you wrong based on the Muslim translation. You are a Muslim?
No, I'm a Christian.
Okay. So if the Muslim says that, and same time the Muslim, they lie in their translation too. So you need to give me an evidence, or let us say an example of something they said which doesn't match as you claim. And then we will see if it's really what they say to you is true or not.
Well, just as I got on your stream, I mean, at the beginning, and I just opened your channel on YouTube, and it's your background, and it says, Muhammad said, Islam will crawl as the serpent crawls back into its hole.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to see this, and I searched Sahih Muslim 146, and I don't really understand the concept, and this is like the most fresh part in my brain, so I'm not accusing of anyone about lying.
Okay, so you are saying to me the one in my page is not, it cannot be found?
No, I'm not saying it cannot be found. Maybe because I don't understand English that good, or
no, like if you type right now,
understand Christian.
if you type right now in the internet the hadith, you will not find it.
No, I can share a screen for you if you like.
All right, give me a second. Here we go. I don't know why you could not find it. It took me 2 seconds to find it. Here we go. You see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Do you see the hadith?
Yes.
Okay. Why you could not find it?
It shows the same. It shows the same, but maybe I don't really understand it.
So okay, but what does have to do, my friend? What do you mean you don't understand it? So, but you said that there is some people, they are saying things. When you read it, it says different. But this is what we are saying. Here we go. Islam will go back like you gave me an example of your choice. Yes. Give me one thing like God Logic. He said, and you cannot find it.
Look, I'm not trying to disprove anyone, but
my friend, I have no problem. You can disapprove me too. This is not the issue. We as a Christians, we have to be honest, and if one of us is lying, it's not bad to expose his lies. It's not bad. So if we did lie, anyone, if you do lie, if I lie, if anyone, then it's our duty as a Christians to expose his lies. We don't do what the Muslims do. We don't support someone, he's a Christian, he's wrong, he's right. No. Liar is liar. Jesus said the father of all lies is Satan. So a person who do lie around, fabricating things, is no Christian. So it doesn't matter the name you mention. So give me an example.
I told you, I don't have it in the back of my
okay,
mind,
take your time. Find me those stories, anything, and come back to me. And then we will see if we can find them or not, if it match or not. Mostly, those people you mentioned their names, because they don't speak Arabic, they have to learn from someone like me what the original meaning mean. So they go and they tell you what it's mean based on what I said, because they don't speak Arabic. However, I can show you tons of examples in the Quran. The Quran says something, the translation says something else. As an example,
That was my main point. That was my main point, because also Muslims use, you know, they say something like this, but when I go, you know, look into the, you know, Quran.com or whatever, the hadiths on the internet, and they tell me you need to understand Arabic to, you know, to understand
yeah.
the point.
Well, this is the game. This is the game. They do it with everybody, including those names you mentioned, to play with them. But they don't. They cannot play that with me. Arabic is my first language. I have degrees in the Islamic law. I am more knowledgeable than their God himself about this cult. And yeah, I'm more. I challenge any Muslim to come and prove me wrong. So those games they can play with you. They can play with the young God logic, or you know, because simply they cannot go. They cannot go in that field because they know nothing about Arabic. You know, if there is something Arabic they knew, they have to learn it from somebody speak Arabic. As simple as that. You know. And if we use AI to translate, AI is a stupid software. Sometimes the translation can be accurate, sometimes it can be wrong. Like here, you know, it says here in chapter 3, verse 3, مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. If we go and click on translation, we will see if it says the truth. No, it's not going to say truth. It says confirming what came before it. But this is not what it says in Arabic. In Arabic it says believing, which means confirming at the same time, more than confirming, believing and confirming what is between his hands. Where is the hands is gone? Between his hands. If we click at the translation here, Google is copying the most known translation for the same sentence. So even Google now, he gave you wrong translation. But if I do copy word by word, you will see how the word will agree. بين يديه, it means بين mean between, يديه is two hands. And now we have in his hands in Google translation. So if you want to judge what people say and say they are not telling the truth because it doesn't match the Muslim translation, you are making a big mistake, because Muslim translation is the most fabricated translation ever. All right?
Wait, so before you said this, it says, you know, confirming what came before it. That's why I came up here, you know, to ask you, because I've seen that you speak Arabic. I didn't even know that it says believe what is in between your hands.
Yeah. And you can go, actually you mentioned Quran.com, you can move your hand, your mouse over the word, you know, and you will see what the website, because the website translates word by word, you know. As an example, let us see, I will see to open Quran.com. Let us see English. Quran.com. All right. So this is Quran.com. Let us see if we can open the translation. I will put it for you on the screen. And then we need to choose language translation, English. Usually if we move our finger over it or our mouse, okay, English. Why it's not? I'm not sure why it's not. Maybe because this is tafsir. Maybe this is tafsir. Okay, hold on. Let us see. I will copy the sentence as it is. Where is ما بين يديه? Okay, here. Just to show you how you can figure out yourself and get them busted.
Get them
All right. So now we have the Quran. Let us activate the translation languages, English, and I think here you need to change translation, recitation, translation, Dr. Mustafa. You can add translation. Here we go, Dr. Mustafa, Halim, whatever, potato, tomato, all the names. You can choose all the names if you want. Yeah, because at the end of the day, all of them, they are potatoes. So usually, I don't know why, usually when you move your mouse over the word, it shows you the word in English, word by word. I don't know why it's not showing. You know?
You can click them.
Okay, let's see. Click. No.
Doesn't. So these are all of the translators. So I can check, you know, from different translators. Is that right?
Even the translation is not appearing. I don't know why, even though I chosen the translation. Maybe I have to go to the verse directly. All right, let's see. Here we go. So look.
This is it. I found it.
All right.
As well. Yes.
Look here now. It says musaddiqan, translated as what? Confirming. Lima, what?
Okay.
Bain, between. You see it?
Yes.
Yadai, his hand. In the translation, it doesn't say that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So they lie.
This was my main question. So thank you, you know, for answering me. And I have one quick question as well. I don't want to take up time.
All right.
I have heard you can have 4 wives in Islam. Yes.
Can I what?
You can have 4 wives in Islam. 1, 2, 3, 4.
In fact, in the Quran, nowhere it says you can have 4 wives. It says you can have 9.
9.
Yeah, but the Muslim, they have wrong understanding and they say 4. This is why all the Caliphate and Muhammad, they have more than 4. So in the Quran, nowhere it says you can have 4. It says you can have 2 and 3 and 4, not or. See again, other false translation. So Mathna. This is chapter 4, verse number 3. If you notice here, this is the Muslim translation. According to the translation, says, if you are afraid to be just with the orphan, then go and if as many women as you wish, of your choice.
What?
2.
So you can have relations with them, right?
Sorry.
You can have a relationship with, relations, you know.
The Muslim, they say the word inkahu mean marriage, but in fact this is an F word. However, this is not my point. You see here they say or.
Okay.
In Arabic it doesn't say or. It says 2 and 3 and 4. There's no or. And this is an example of how they corrupt their religion, because there's a huge difference between 2 and and or. If I say go and eat chicken and salad and yogurt, that means I can eat them all, correct?
Yes.
All right. And this is a command, not only maybe. If I say or, that means I can eat either one. No, they cannot eat them all, correct?
You can choose, yes.
But this is not what happened here. They lie. So again, we can take the same sentence here. All right. We go to the Quran in Quran.com and we will move our finger over the letter wa, which is equal to and. Let us go to the search. Oh boy. What happened? This website is endless. Man, it's going to go to all the... All right, let's search here.
potato created that
All right.
website.
So now we have it. We go to the verse, and then we will move over the letters. It says, "Fankahu." Translate the word "fankahu" as married. It's false. It's mean to if. Ma, which mean what? Taba, whatever you desire. Lakum, for you. From An-Nisa, from the women. Mathna, two. Here you see they are translating the whole word together. The letter wa is not coming by itself, so I cannot click on it alone. So they said or three. It's false translation. It is 2 and 3 and 4. Letter wa in Arabic mean and. So now if I highlight here the letter wa alone and I use Google translation and, see it?
And.
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 and 3 and 4. And then you ask them about the caliphate and Muhammad. The Muslim, they say that Muhammad, he have 9 wives all in together in the same time. That explain 2 and 3 and 4. What is the total? 9.
Yes.
And this is the difference between someone he mastered the Arabic language and someone he is debating Muslims who don't know a single Arabic letter.
So you have studied Islamic law and you have PhD.
Well, Arabic is my language, you know. I'm like, my mom, she said to me that when they gave a delivery to me, I came out and I was reading the Quran. True story. Yeah. So it's our language. I mean, this is my first language. So they can lie to everybody, but they cannot lie to us. All right.
Because you speak Arabic. You know, that's why I come on here to talk to you, because I have heard and by watching the videos that you speak Arabic, it's your native language, so that's why I came here.
And this is why the Muslims don't dare to come here. They will go to other channels because there they can play games and they feel weakness. So they can play. Even with those who have weakness, they can't even make victory.
And one thing I noticed, maybe like 7-8 months ago, I opened Quran chapter 3 verse 54, where Allah is the best planner, as they say. And when by watching you, I think the word makar means deceiver and planner. So
no, actually makara have nothing to do with the planner. Makara, you see, in Arabic we say athalab al-makkar, athalab al-makkar, which mean al-mukhadi'. So al-mukhadi' is the one who cheat. Thalab is the fox. So the fox, he is really smart. You know, me myself, I witnessed that firsthand. Once we were hunting, we shot at the fox. He lay down in the ground. One of us went there to grab him, you know, because we want to take the fur.
Okay.
He stayed in the ground until the guy gets so close to him. So now we cannot shoot at the fox if he run again, because our friend is between us and him. So he wait until like he want to grab him and he start running again. So he acted. So I witnessed that truly when they say this, when they use the word, in fact, even in English, they use the word fox for someone who is smart, you know?
okay.
Yeah. So mukhadi' or makkar is someone he fool you. He make you think something to deceive you. This is what makkar mean.
It's like the fox, you say, yes?
Yeah.
Because I also noticed 7 months it says, and the disbelievers made a plan, but Allah also planned, and Allah is the best of planners. And now they added, and the disbelievers made a plan against Jesus, but Allah also planned.
No, you see here, this is a false again, because if the word makar mean a plan, why I will not feel secure from the plan of Allah. Chapter 7, verse number 99, it says, those who feel secure, according to Muslim translation, against the plan of Allah. Okay, why I will not be secure? Is Allah plan is bad? So the translation is a hypocrisy. The one who trusts the deception of Allah, you know, is a fool, because simply he will deceive you. Not the plan, because if Allah is God, why I will, like, imagine I will say the one who trusts the plan of Jesus, he's a fool, he's a loser. That will be ugly, actually, right? That will be, I'm insulting Jesus. I'm saying to you then, don't trust Jesus because his plan is a bad plan. So why they will not feel secure for the plan of Allah? Simply because there is no word plan there. It says he will deceive those who feel secure from the deception of Allah, not from the plan of Allah. All right?
Can I ask you, what is this verse? I want to write it down. Can you tell me?
This one is 799.
799.
Yeah.
799, yes.
Yeah. And even the hadith says, لا آمن مكر الله. I don't trust the deception of Allah. So why he will not feel secure from the makr of Allah? He should be. Is Allah going to do something bad for us? You know, obviously he will. He's a deceiver. So the hadith says it clearly, and this is actually from the Quran too. Not only in the hadith. If I trust the deception of Allah, I'm just being stupid, because Allah is not the one you can trust. He's a deceiver. لا آمن مكر الله. I don't trust the deception of Allah, and the one who trusts the deception of Allah is a stupid, you know. And then the Muslim, they try to justify it, but it doesn't work, because Allah should be the last one I will not feel secure for his plan. All right?
Yes.
Yeah. If Allah is a good person, then why I will not feel secure? Then the Muslim, they will say he's not talking about the good ones, he's talking about the bad ones. No. Nowhere in the verse it says bad or good. It says those who feel secure against Allah are the losers. All right? And then we will find like other verse in the Quran says that they deceive Allah, but in fact he deceived them. So again, is an exchange of deception between both the first party and the other party. If you see here the word يخدعون, there is no translation. Did not even translate this hadith. Strange. All right. Yeah, I did not translate it. Let's go to the Quran. Here we will find, and you will see how the Muslim, they falsely translate the same word twice but differently.
So they can prove they
chapter 2 verse 9, it says they think they can deceive Allah. Okay, what the word here? يخادعون. Okay, so now we know that the word يخادعون mean what? Deceive, right? Okay, we go to different verse, the same word exactly. The verse after, chapter 4 verse 142. It says the hypocrites seek to deceive Allah, he who deceived them. Actually here they give you a good translation, weird. See the word yukhada', yukhada'. Both of them, they are lying to each other. They lie to Allah, Allah lie to them. And the funny here, the Quran speak about the munafiqeen, which mean the hypocrite. But the Quran itself in chapter 3 verse number 28 teach you that you can lie to the Christians and the Jews and non-Muslims, speaking to them in a friendly way while your heart dislike this. So who is the hypocrite? Islam encourage hypocrisy. Muhammad, he says you can lie to three: your wives, your friends, your enemy. Who's left? Who's the hypocrite? Muhammad, he said إذا ابتليتم فاستتروا. If you do something bad, hide it. So outside you claim that you are a decent, believing man, but behind door you are a scumbag. Who is the hypocrite? The Muslims, when they pray, Muhammad encouraged them to pray in the corners. Jesus, he forbid us. He called those who pray in the corners hypocrite. So who's the hypocrite? Simply Islam and Allah and Muhammad are the hypocrisy praise winner around the world. Nobody can beat them. All right, let us take the second person. Thank you, Death.
Thank you as well, brother. God bless you.
God bless. Go ahead, Potato. People call themselves names. I don't know. Potato Slayer. Are you there? All right, let me move you out. Maybe he went to sleep. Anyone? Any Muslim? Until now, we have 0 Muslim, as you see. Why? I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. Any Muhammadan? Who is a Muhammadan would like to convert me to Islam so I can get some versions? You know what? I don't care if they are versions or not anyway. Who care? By the way, the first thing I would do if I go to the heaven of Allah, I will take with me shampoo. Anyone knows why? I will take shampoo. Who knows why I will take shampoo? Excuse me, I have to say it in the Middle Eastern way. Shampoo, not shampoo. Why I will take shampoo? Oh, I mean shampoo. Well, this God is a liar. You can't trust him. He says to us they are virgin. How you can trust him? So I will make a bath, fill it up with shampoo, and make them sit slowly in the water. If bubbles came, that means they are not virgins. Huh? You can't trust Allah. I mean, this guy is a deceiver. They keep saying that to us. How I can trust that they are virgin? Maybe they are used. Maybe he played with the meter. Maybe each one of them she have like a 10 billion kilometer. I don't know. We can't trust that. So you take with you shampoo. Take note, Muhammadan. You take shampoo with you. You go to the bath of your house. You line up all those virgins, so-called virgins, and tell them not to fart. Okay, be sure. Tell them not to fart. If she sit and bubbles start coming, it means there's a leak. And they are not virgins. I mean, what the idea even of those virgins? What for? What do you mean virgins? Like, not only virgin, the Quran says, no genie or a human if them. The Muslim believe that genie if their women. I don't know how many of you have my book, Sex in Allah. You will find some funny stories there. So the Quran says that those women, no man or genie did break the skin of their vagina, make them bleed. And this is mentioned twice in the Quran. Chapter 5, verse number 56, chapter 55, 56, 55, 74. No man and no genie. A Muslim genie have a penis? So he's small in the ball, but he have a penis, he can penetrate your wife? If you read my book, you will see there's a guy, according to him, He opened the door and he saw his wife pubic area on fire. On what? On fire. Why his wife pubic on fire? And she was moving like horny because genie is doing boom boom to her. Remember, genie is made of fire. So here we go. She have bushes, and the bushes is so dry, and the genie is having sex with her, and now the bushes got on fire. Other Abdul, he told the sheikh, my wife, she doing things, brother. She touched herself. I open the door, I hear her like, you know, she is sleeping, she is doing things, brother. Obviously this guy is a potato, you know. God knows how long this guy did not even touch his wife. She have a donkey next to her, but he do nothing. So the guy, the sheikh, he said, A'udhu billah, brother, this is a genie. It's a genie, brother. Muhammad, he said to them that even if you don't say the name of Allah, Shaitan will round himself around your penis and he will be doing your wife. If we search right now in, let us see if I can find in English. Religion of Allah, my friend, religion. You have to pray before sex, you have to pray after sex. You know, I mean, and here we are talking about the physical protection, you know. Let us see. I'm trying just to find something in English, not in Arabic. Not this one. The problem, you type for the things in English, you get nothing but Android tits videos. Okay. Where is the, you know? Yeah, I found only in English now the why we pray before sex, how what to say. But I want to show you the real story. What's wrong with those Abduls? The benefit of saying Bismillah and Dua before intercourse, brother. Still, I'm not able to find the one I'm looking for. Yeah, I will find it. Let me search for sex with jinn. Okay, hold on. We found this. Islam stock exchange. All right, sex with jinn. Potato, are you there?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Are you a Muslim?
That's my question to you right now. I'm from the Middle East and born and raised a Muslim, and I've been having debates. I want to clarify something with you right now. If you can give me an answer, please.
Okay.
I mean, look at the what's going on. There is nothing devastating, problems, chaos, killing, slaughtering, all in Muslim countries. And I've been here in the United States for a long, long time. I lived in Canada. My wife is a Christian, and I have 2 daughters. And I've been going to church for the past year and a half, but I'm still debating. I have a foot in and a foot out. So I need your guidance or
All
an
right.
open way just to see why this is happening only to
All right. Go ahead.
the Muslim countries, and just why only
Well,
condemn them, God condemn them.
you see, I'm not going to judge Islam because bad things happen in Muslim countries. I judge Islam by Islam itself. Because I can mention for you, some countries have nothing to do with Islam and they have civil war. However, we have to use a good reasoning that Islam is the main motive of those civil war, not like others. Like others, they are fighting over government, not using the name of God to make the war happen. Islam is a religion of war and killing and hatred, and all of it is about politics. So I will not judge Syria today because what's happening, because I can say sometimes Syria was fine, not all the time was bad. However, I can judge Syria that to be bad and doomed since Islam came to it. So wherever Islam goes, any country in the world, even if you send them to heaven, Islam will destroy. That's why for me, I believe Islam is a religion of the termite. So if you are a Muslim, in my opinion, you are a termite.
Well, like I said, I'm not, I haven't been in, I don't even practice it.
No,
I
no,
don't
I'm not
even go
saying
to
that. I'm
mosque.
just
I
saying
don't even,
I'm just being honest with you. I don't sugarcoat things. I say it as it is. So Islam is a termite. You cannot find one country Islam enter it. Like you see, if I send a Muslim, his name is Mohammed, but he is not a practicing Muslim, to a place, the place will be fine. But the second he stop practicing Islam, the place is damaged. So the problem is not a person or a million person, their name is Muhammad. The problem, they are practicing Islam or not.
and there are some people that practice Islam the wrong way too. There's a lot of hypocrisy going on there too.
What is the
Well,
wrong way? What is the wrong way?
I mean, they claim they're Muslim, they claim they do this, and they just do the opposite thing. But they don't practice it.
Okay,
You cannot call yourself a Muslim by practicing.
my friend, is rape against Islam?
Yeah, it is.
No. Muhammad, he raped. How come it's against Islam? Is theft against Islam?
A lot of thefts going on right now, and nobody cares. Yeah, you're
No.
right.
But Muhammad is a thief. You say, I don't care about now. I'm judging Islam founder. So if a Muslim says, the Muslim will say to you, Islam is against theft. What are you talking about? Even the Islamic law command to cut the hand of the thief. But if the thief is stealing the money of non-Muslims, is a good thief.
I
So
don't agree with that. I totally agree with you. I don't agree with that at all.
you don't agree?
I don't agree with the Islamic laws that somebody to steal from non-Muslims. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, non-Muslim. You shouldn't steal at all.
No, in Islam it teaches you can steal from non-Muslims. Like Muhammad,
Well,
he says, Muhammad said,
that's why
attack the
I'm
Roman,
going to
attack
church
the
with my
Roman.
wife
Hold
for
on,
the past 2 years now.
attack the Roman, and get the blondie women. Is that a theft? We attack our neighboring country, just to get their women and their money. Is that a theft or not?
It is.
Okay. So is Muhammad is a big time thief?
I don't know why the people follow that, the way the prophet said it, and I'm not following it. I'm being very honest with you right now. Like I said, I'm going to Christianity. My wife explained to me every day. I go to church, and I want to know about Jesus more because a lot of good things happen with me lately. That when we talk about Jesus, when we go to church, we can go to pray. I mean, there's a lot of things that I never expected in my life to happen until I got close. A lot of people pray for me, through Jesus.
Do you know Arabic?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you read for me? Let me show the screen. Sorry, my screen is off. This is Tafsir al-Tabari. You see my screen now?
Yeah.
All right. And this is the Quran, chapter 9, verse number 49. We go down here. Let us see what Muhammad he said to the Muslims. Here. Can you read and translate to people, please?
عن مجاهد في قول الله أندلن لي ولا تفتني فأن قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصوا تبوك تغنموا بنات الأصفر ونساء الروم فقال الجد أندل لنا ولا تفتنا بالنساء.
Translate, please.
It says that's Prophet, peace upon him, that attack Tabuk and take the blonde women and the women of Rome.
So why he is going for war? Is that for the sake of Allah?
No, it seems like for blondies.
For blondie women. So, and then a man, he said to him, why you are tempting us with women to go to war? Muhammad, he accused him that he is hypocrite. He's accusing that man who said to him, why you are testing? Obviously this guy is even says Jed is old. Why,
yeah, he's an old man.
Why you are tempting those people with women to go to war? Muhammad, he made a verse saying Allah made a verse about him. Imagine Allah himself. Why? Because how dare you to say why you are tempting men to go and kill? So all the war, we will kill people, we'll make many orphan, we will destroy, we will burn, just to get the blondie girls and for sure the money. So was Islam really for the sake of Allah or for the sake of a blonde women?
No, in my opinion, right now, what you told me, what I'm seeing is for blonde women. Like I said, it's a violent, religion. That's why I married a Christian woman, and we've been together for 22 years. And like I said, for the past year and a half, going on 2 years now, going to church, and I know about Christianity more. Every time I go to church, we learn more, and she keeps studying stuff for me on all this, all this Bible studies. And she opened my eyes on a lot of things.
But after knowing all of this, and you speak Arabic, so you are the last one to be deceived. Do you agree with this garbage? Are you willing to go to your neighbor? You live in America. I'm sure many of your neighbors are blonde. Are you going to take a bunch of your friend Abdul and attack the Roman and get the blondie women?
Never.
Okay, but every Muslim will say to you, Islam is against mischievement, Islam is against thief, Islam is against wrong. But the wrong, when the Muslims they speak about wrong, it's wrong to do that to Muslims. It's not wrong to do it to Christians, to Jews, to Hindus, to Buddhists. So
no, I have my good friends are Christians, most of them Christians, and I have very good friends Jewish
even
too.
this one you cannot do it, because according to Islam chapter 5 verse 51, you cannot take Christians and Jews as a friends.
No, I disagree. I have a lot of Christian friends.
I know
I
you
made a lot of Christian
okay, but I'm saying, but this is Islam. So in fact, based on what you told me, already you are out of Islam.
Very much.
Yeah, because the Quran says so. It's not up to you. The Quran says that the one who take Christians and Jews as a friends, he is one of them. He's an apostate, So if you confirm that you have friends who are Christians and Jews, you are one of us, as the Quran says. Then surely he is one of them. So congratulations, my friend, you left Islam already.
Thank you.
So what about you accept the Messiah as your Lord and your Savior?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right, I mean to that, we are happy for you. And I hope you will
Thank you very much.
And I hope you will teach your kids that only thieves
they go to church. They go to church with us every time we go. They go to church.
All right, wonderful, great news. Happy for you, my friend. Happy life. We pray for you and
Thank you
your
so
wife
much. May God
and
bless
your
you.
family.
May God bless you and keep up the good work, my brother.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Do we have any Mohammedan? Any Abdul? Who is Abdul would like to join us? Attack the Roman and get the blonde girls. Why are we attacking the Roman? To rape. And this is explained, by the way. Those Arab are obsessed with the white women. You know, like how many Arab you will see married to an African woman? Very, very rare. And if you do that, mostly he have something he want to take from her. Maybe papers, maybe something fishy. They are very racist. Say white women. There's a video of this guy, Mimi Hijab and the Dawah. They are, and with this guy himself, what's his name? The ex-Muslim. You're a friendly ex-Muslim. What's his name? He called his channel, You're a friendly ex-Muslim. They were attacking, talking about his white wife, you know, saying that the reason he left Islam because his wife, she is pretty and white and etc. They are obsessed with white women. That's why Allah, He promised the Muslims that when they go to heaven, the women there, they will be so white to the point you can see the marrow of their bones, which is disgusting. Imagine your wife, you know, I mean, imagine, guys, you see the marrow of her bones. I mean, how is Muhammad, not only he exaggerate with his lies, he's so stupid. What kind of a beauty that beauty is? If I can see the marrow of her bones, I can see, excuse me, the shit inside her bone, inside her stomach. All right? You can see the marrow inside their bones. Not only they are so white, huh? No, they are not so white only. They are see-through, like jellyfish. But you know, I have to say, because I think we as a Christians, we are jealous. Let us be honest here. I will give you an example why we are jealous. Think about it. Isn't this the dream of every man? I hope you have no dogs around you. Huh? Isn't this what we want? What more? Look at the high heels. Look how beautiful. Look at her butt. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Look at her bones. She's a bony. So beautiful, man. You do not even need the light. You can install LED inside her. I mean, just imagine you turn the light off and you ask her to swallow an LED from Amazon. Just get one, you know. Don't be cheap. I mean, you have to spend some money for entertainment. Or let her drink some of those shiny, whatever, liquid. Turn the light off. And man, oh man. She is already shiny. Phew. I don't want to look at this too long, guys. Sorry, I'm single. I cannot, sorry. You know? I'm being... really, look at this. What the heck? That alone is unbelievable. Look at the shit there. That is a shit in heaven. Do you see the shadow of the butt? MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Look at her eyes, brother. Look, even the high heels, they are oh, it's all is sexy together. Look at this. Oof, that is better deal. Oh wow, they have high heels in heaven. I mean, yeah, look at this. I think she was farting. She looked like she was squeezing something, you know. I mean, this is the heaven of Allah. Prophet Muhammad, brother, he promised us women, they are see-through. And then they, you know, women in heaven are so beautiful women. So beautiful, so beautiful. I mean, what beautiful? You can't even see her face. Well, hold on. Oh, this is more. This is so. Wow. She is putting her. I can see that she have a credit card there. What is that? iPhone? Uh-oh. She smuggled iPhone with her to Allah heaven? What the heck? What about the security? Huh? Yeah, look. Ah, now she is ready for business. You go to heaven, brother? Look at those beautiful arms. Unbelievable. I assure you she is singing, I'm sexy and you know it, you know. Man, that's so beautiful. And those stupid people, they believe it, you know. It's, you know, those mujahideen in Syria, they want to get the beautiful women, pure, transparent, the one you can see the marrow through their bones. If you have a dog, he will eat her. I mean, the second he see the bones, he will go crazy. Right? Nobody can beat that beauty, you know. Just a reminder again, reminder. We will go live every day, if I could, but every day will be a fixed time. All right? But when I say every day, doesn't mean every day I'm coming. I might be able to go for the whole week every day. All right? So every day I will be live at 7:30 p.m. New York time. Capiche? 7:30 p.m. New York time. Every day except Saturday. I will go between 2:30 and 3 p.m. All right? Just take a note, please. So from now on, I will go in this time, and this is schedule. So if you are in Europe, either you have to stay late, what I can do, or you stay until you are in Saturday and you join us. Now, if I can do schedule like the change a little bit, I will. But for now, we make it every day because people are confused when they can find me online. So from now on, just take a take a note. All right. Be honest with me, guys. Are you being tempted? Do you think I'm going to go to hell because I'm tempting men here? What do you think? I hope I will not be punished for tempting you guys. This is too much beauty to resist. You will see the marrow of the bones. Hey, honey, you are so bony. Yes, honey, I'm so bony. What they call you in heaven? Bony-tail? Oh, okay. Oh. Which bone of you tastes the best? Oh, honey, you can bite me anywhere. Oh, okay. Like, can we make soup out of you? This is so good religion. And Prophet Muhammad is telling the truth. Islam, go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, hello?
Am I on the on the mic?
You are speaking on the mic, yes.
Oh, thank you, Christian Prince.
You.
I enjoy your discussions.
All
and I had a question.
Sure, go
I'm
ahead.
not a Muslim, but since nobody wants to come to the mic or whatever, I thought I have a question that's regarding predestination that you were discussing before. And my question is, okay, there is no predestination in Christianity, but there is predestined in Islam. I understand Islam definitely.
Okay.
But in Christianity, how about those verses that says that when Jesus, before the rooster makes the sound, you will betray me 3 times. Isn't that like, okay, Jesus already knew ahead of time what's going to happen 3 times.
All
So
right.
even though Jesus knew, it was his choice to deny 3 times.
Exactly.
So knowing ahead is not predestination.
Exactly. Because,
I see.
if this is additional proof that the Messiah is not just, as Muslims they claim he's a prophet, he knew what people will do. In fact, even the Quran says that the Messiah can tell you what you ate and what you hide in your houses. So the knowledge is something different from destiny. The knowledge is about, you cannot hide things from me. I know everything. I know even what you will do tomorrow. But it is your choice. That's why it says that Peter he betrayed. If Peter was forced to do that, he did not betray. If it was destiny, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if I say to you, you will betray me, that means you will do it, not me. If I force you to do it, that means you did not do it. You know? Yeah.
Yes.
So if I say you will steal, I know you will steal. It's you who steal. I did not say I will make you steal. If I say I will make you betray me, that is a destiny. I will force you. But this is not what happened. Yeah. So Jesus is just telling him what he will deny him 3 times. It's just to inform. And Peter, he was like surprised. Well, I'm not going to do that, Like, no way. And me? No. No way. So, but this is exactly what happened. But this is not a predestiny. That about the knowledge of God, which is no knowledge can precede it.
I see.
Yeah.
So thank you for answering that.
You see, destiny is very dangerous because now I can go and rape a woman, and I say I'm destined to do it.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, I can kill, I can steal, I can. In fact, there's a video of a Muslim sheikh, very well known. They asked him about. He was speaking about destiny, and he said that one guy, he was a thief, and they brought him to the caliphate, and then the thief, he said to the caliphate, why you punish me for a sin is a predestined to me to do.
Well, if Allah's written all of this,
and then the sheikh he agreed. He said, well, this is a good argument if you think about it. Why I will be punished if this is a destiny. Let me play the video so people can see what I'm talking about, and right away you will see how dangerous the idea of Islam, because if I do any kind of a crimes and I say it's a predestiny, and then I claim I'm just getting a certificate that I did nothing wrong, it was destiny. So now everybody can commit a crime.
Right.
And the
look
at this. So listen to this.
Now that's quite a good.
Look at this. This is the sheikh. He's talking about the destiny.
Having stolen when it was predestined, my deed. And he uses the same line. He says, "Oh Umar, oh Amirul Mu'mineen," to Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, and he uses the same line. He says, "Oh Umar, oh Amirul Mu'mineen, how can you punish me for having stolen when it was predestined? My deeds were already written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Now that's quite a good argument if you were to look at it. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was one ahead of this man. He says, well, let's punish this man because it was predestined that we were going to punish him as well.
See how stupid it is? Wow. He said, wow. He just said, wow.
Yeah.
So he said the guy is saying, why I will be punished for a theft I did when I predestined. He is saying that this is a good point, argument, if you want to think about it, which means he's right. In the same time, he said that the caliphate, he outsmart him, and he said, well, you know what? It's a predestined to me to punish you. Let us punish him. So It's an evil logic. The thief is being punished, yet he is forced to do it based on the belief. The caliphate is doing the punishment because he was predestined to do it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me go back to that first question. And Jesus predicted the denial 3 times. So he knew already. So was it Peter? Yeah, it was Peter.
Yeah,
Peter denied 3 times. But could so he knew, so Peter could have not denied 3 times? That means? I mean, he knew already.
For sure. But you see, Christ, he knew the future, tomorrow. He will be scared, you know. He will be scared. You know, when you are scared, you are not you. When you are scared, you are terrified, you know, they will take you and kill you. So you deny. Do you know this guy? No, I do not know him. You know, he's scared. So he never thought he would do that. He never thought that he is the brave who will. How in the world he will deny the Messiah? He never thought about it. But when he is scared, he did it. You know, this is again confirming how powerful the knowledge of the Lord, and always his word is true. But again, this is not a destiny. Destiny.
Okay.
Destiny for action is the most evil insult against God, because I'm saying that I am good and God is bad. So I fornicate, God forced me. I rape, God forced me. I steal, God forced me. So who is the killer? Who is the rapist? Who is the thief? Allah, if he is my God. All right. So I take all my crimes, and now I am not guilty because I am nobody. I'm just a programmed creature, according to Muslims, who will do things according to the software installed. So Muhammad says, before even you are created, Allah will send an angel, and he will write your bad and good deed, and if you will be a believer, not a believer, if you will be in heaven or not. And even if you try to be a believer, what Allah wrote for you will overcome. Right? Yeah.
Yes. So for some denominations, they kind of believe in like predestiny, and for them, I guess it's kind of just as not good as in Islam.
Yeah, but you know, some, like what they say, they don't believe in destiny the way as Islam is. They believe, like some people, they are destined for a mission. I agree with them that some people, they can be destined, but still they can reject. It's not a destiny as it's just a command and it's done. No, it's a destiny. So God, he can choose you, but still you can say no to God. You know?
Yes.
So God, he spoke to Moses. Moses says no. Then Moses says yes. The same person, you know? So no, yes, which one? So he can be used by God. He can refuse to be used by God. He can be a believer. He can be obedience, and he can be a person who disobey. Same as the disciple of Jesus. He chosen 12. They are chosen. One of them betrayed Jesus. Why? Because there's a free will. He can leave. He can. We have in the Bible verses where Jesus was making a speech, and a lot of people who were listening, they left. And Jesus said to his disciple, do you want to leave and follow them too? They said, no, Lord, we will follow you. All right. So he told them, you're free. You want to go? You want to follow them? They left. Look, they did not like what I say. They left. You want to leave too? They said, no, Lord, we will follow you. So here we go. Those are the 12. If they are just a bunch of slaves and they have no freedom to say yes or no, Jesus do not need to ask them, you want to stay or you want to leave. You know? And you will notice that the Messiah always was speaking to his disciple in a very unique way. Not only, like, you know, Imagine I am a follower of the Messiah and I saw him doing all those miracles. And now I believe that he is God. I should treat him in a very, I mean, I don't know. If I am around him, what I would do. But you will notice how simple the Messiah is. He even washed their feet. Is that destiny? No. They said, no, Lord, you cannot do that. He said, if you don't let me do it, you don't belong to me. Correct?
Yes.
So even that which should not happen actually, if you ask me if I am a king of kings, why in the world I'm going to wash the feet of people who believe in me? Why I want to do that? But Jesus was an amazing person, God on earth in the flesh of man, but yet this God is so humble and simple. And he taught us how to be the best. So you cannot be a master unless you are a servant. The master is not the one who have servant, is the one who serve. So Jesus is not only giving them a free destiny, free will, he acted as servant for them. He washed their feet. I never heard of anyone want to do that. If I have a bunch of guys, they love me very much, they support me, they say I'm a commander of our army, I'm not going to wash their feet. Why I want to do that? But this is the Messiah who they believe he is the Son of God, who is God in flesh, who have power over death, over life, over disease, over illness. He insists to wash their feet. And that is saying to you that this is not one of us. As he said, he is from above and we are from below. For he is, his nobility, if I can use that word, my English is limited, is way above mankind. Mankind don't do that. You know, the more you are successful, the more you are proud. The more you have more fans, if you are a celebrity, the more you are so arrogant. The more you worship yourself, the more you mistreat people. The Messiah, the more they love him, the more he is simple and he served them. That's why he says, come to me and I will comfort you. Knock at my door, I will open for you. You will notice that always the Messiah is offering a service. I will comfort you. I will open for you. But it is two partnering together. I have to come to his door, not destiny. I have to knock at his door, not destiny. So he's telling me what is required. It's my choice. Come, knock at my door, I will open. He made a promise. So his promise is what he will do. My act is what will take me to his promise. So salvation in Christianity is not just by saying things, but by doing things. I have to walk toward him. I have to knock at his door, and I have not only to say, Lord, Lord, as he said, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who does his will. So you say, Lord, Lord, from now until next century, you have no key for my door. This is not what make you have the key. You have to knock at my door. How you knock at my door? Knocking at the door of Jesus is your qualification, is following him, is obeying him. Then you belong to him. The same as the disciple when they agree under the pressure of Jesus to let him wash their feet. So you do action, he keep his promise. You do action to do bad, you go to hell. That was his promise. You do action to be good, following him. And remember, the word good here is not about being good God. It's about being good as much as you can. Keeping yourself away from sin as much as you can. And when you do sin, You do your best to fight it and not to go back to it. This is why the Lord, He says, from their fruits you shall know them. So imagine yourself, you are a truck driver, and then you arrive to the gate. There's a corner. One gate go right, one gate go left. And there's a guard. He check what you have in the truck. What do you have in the truck? Dead bodies? Criminal you are? Women are crying, you rape them? Children, you took their food and their home? Or people who they are thankful for what you did, people you help, people you give them a hand, people you feed them. What do you have in the back of your truck? So from their fruits you shall know them, not from their names. All right?
Yes. Thank you very much,
You're
Christian
welcome.
Prince. I watch your videos a lot from your channels and other channels as well, and it's really insightful. For in terms of from Christians' point of view, you know, even Christians do not know what's going on, but you kind of explain it just like right now, very clearly.
My friend, Christ is very simple, and He was not looking for men who they have philosophy degrees and they have a PhD. He took fishermen and He said, I will make you fisher men, go and fish. So the Messiah, to know the Messiah, you do not need to be a scholar. You need to be simple and have a good heart. The more your heart is good, the more you are close to Him and the more you know Him. The more you are arrogant and proud, and you think because you have an education or a degree, you know, and you can stand like shoulder to shoulder with the Messiah, the more you are fool and the more you are ignorant. So believing in the Messiah, the best way to get close to Him is being simple like He is. This is why the Bible can speak to you. If you open now any chapter in the New Testament, it doesn't matter if you are a person who have a PhD or a person just knows how to write, how to read. Both of you will enjoy it. In fact, you might enjoy it more than the one who have a PhD because you are more simple. And God is against confusion. Simple. Touch your heart. Heal your pain. For His God, His word is unique. And they are not words to tell, but they are words to live. Thank you very much, brother. Take care.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
We'll talk again. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, bye.
Today we have 0 Muslims and no Abdul, because they fear their destiny here. This is your destiny, Abdul. You want to understand destiny? That is a Christian prince. Time will come and Christian prince will die, and your kids will see the destiny that none of you, when Christian prince was alive, dare even to put his nose here. Face your destiny. All right, look like we are out of Abdul, and it's getting late for me, so I want to say thank you. So again, remember, I will make a time is fixed every day. All right, I will go live at 6:30 New York time, between 6:30 and 7, mostly 6:30. However, doesn't mean I promise you I will go every day. You know, I might be tired, I might be, so I will do my best to go every day, but if I go, I will be at that time. All right, except Saturday. Saturday I will go live between 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Doesn't mean between 2:30 to 3 mean I will be online for half hour only. No, that means I will go live either 2:30, 2:40, but this is the schedule. Saturday is going to be different, so people in Europe, they can join us and it's a weekend. All right. So please take a note, and I hope to see you tomorrow if I could at 7:30 New York time. All right. God bless. And this is your no 6:30 p.m. my friend, 6:30 p.m. New York time. 6:30 p.m. New York time. All right. And Saturday 2:30 to 3 p.m. Okay, just make it clear. p.m. There's no a.m. All right. I'm a person who have a difficulty to sleep easy. Sometime in the morning I do not even sleep. So if I want to go at 6 a.m. in the morning, that means I did not sleep. It takes me a lot of effort to sleep. I have to get tired. I don't get tired easy. My voice get tired, yes, maybe, but my body doesn't. My brain keep I wish like some of you can sleep in a second. You decide to sleep, whoop, you take a switch off. For me, I have a problem. All right. Anyway, so just take a note, and then we meet again. And this way, because people, they don't know where I'm coming online. That's why I decided to do it this way. People are confused. Sometimes he is 4 a.m. Sometimes he is 7 a.m. p.m. Sometimes he is etc. Let us fix it, and that will make people know that I will be there. All right. So thank you. God bless you. And Ante will see you soon again. God is good. So is Jesus. Amen to that. See ya. Bye-bye.